This is the Wrestling for Life Network. This is another live stream tonight. As we are every Thursday night, we are here for TNA Impact. We got some great matches going down. We got two championship challenge matches tonight, one for the men, one for the women. Tessa Blanchard is in action. There's a lot going down as we head to Slammiversary, so let's get into it. Like I said, this is the Wrestling for Life Network. This is another live stream. Tonight, we have TNA Impact with two championship challenge matches. Tessa Blanchard is in action. We are on the road to Slammiversary. The intro button on this channel does not like me. If you don't know who I am Anthony by Elegance, and that is Big Nick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its tag stream champions of the world, the man who puts the T in TNA, Ringsider Anthony. I am Big Nick. And yes, like you said, two championship challengers. For those who don't know, if a member of the non-champion team gets a pinfall on a champion who gets the winning pinfall, they get a title opportunity. So I can't wait for EY to win his second world title chance.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like when they brought that out today, I was like, wait a minute, isn't he already the number one contender?
He just won it. He just won it.
So unless, this is a way to introduce a triple threat match at Slammiversary. But other than that, I mean, yeah, that's and it's kind of ironic that you say that, because it could introduce a triple threat match at Slammiversary, because I know Steve Macklin is not in this, but they had Leon Slater front and center, and I would think it would be EY because he is the current number one contender. So maybe Leon Slater pulls out the victory and they turn that into a triple threat match.
Could you see it to where Leon Slater leaves Slammiversary TNA World Champion?
I definitely could. See that happening. I
hadn't even thought about that one.
And then
that's how you get back to Cedric. If anything, Leon wins.
I thought that's how you would get back to Cedric, but it seems like they're putting Eichner in Leon Slater's, kind of slot, and having Eichner and potentially Cedric at Slammiversary. So I could definitely see Leon Slater pinning maybe EY in this situation at Slammiversary, if that's the hypothetical route that they take at Slammiversary, where it makes Mike Santana still look clean, still look strong. Right. And then, Leon Slater has the world title. And I don't know what we're doing with the cleanse altogether, but I know EY wants to cleanse all the new talent, all the younger talent. Maybe this is a way for Leon Slater to be involved with the cleanse. I don't know, but just throwing out things.
Well, you lose me when it comes to the cleanse, because very much
I lose myself when it comes to the cleanse. I lose myself when it comes to the cleanse.
Yeah, but we haven't even talked about, TNA's new great hope, your favorite wrestler, and the chats too, apparently, is Fabian Eichner officially signs with TNA for a month's deal.
He signed for over the summer.
For Strategy Cotton.
Right, from my understanding, I believe they did the same thing with Cedric last year, because he came in around the same time, and then he signed I think for a couple of months, and then he re-signed later down the line. I don't know if this is a way of TNA giving folks a trial kind of run, a trial speed.
Is it just what's in the coffers, what's in the bank account? We can't fully invest the big money deals in you right now. One of those, show me what you got.
I mean, that could be can't talk. That could be the case. TNA is not the money company, that AEW and
they don't got a billionaire daddy.
I was about to say AEW and WWE. We don't know where WWE stands with money, but definitely not AEW. So that could be, them doing that too. I do stick by more of the theory of it potentially being a trial run. Let's see how you actually mingle in with the roster, and if it turns out to be okay, then maybe we can sign you to a longer deal.
Well, is it a bit of that because, and this will be the last thing before we say hi to the people who signed up with us. So make sure, folks, you like, share, and subscribe. We got all the super chats, the super stickers. But could it also be because they can't offer, like Tony can have a contract and you just sit on the bench? Britt Baker, for example, WWE can afford if you are on the sidelines, then we'll see you, we'll wait for you to come back. TNA can't exactly, they don't have the funds to really do that. So that's maybe why, hey, we'll give you a couple months. If we both kind of at the end of this thing, it's not going to work out or it's not progressing in the way that we think it's going to go, then we're not on the hook for a long-term contract. They're the Tampa Bay Rays kind of almost of like, the rest of the world. They're the, Kansas City Royals. They're doing it on, mom and pop budget.
Yeah. No, and I think that goes back to the same difference of it being like a trial run. Like we got to see how this works. Is this going to fit both of us? If it doesn't fit, both of us, then I think we just need to part ways.
Yeah, we're not on the line for a big long contract.
Exactly. And like you said, TNA doesn't have the room to have people sitting on the shelf. And like I said in past streams, like I can go on the TNA website, go to their roster page, and I can pretty much tell you what everybody is doing. Even though we may not like the stories or storylines they're in, everybody is technically being used some type of way.
Fair enough. We can talk about Tommy Dreamer and Delirious a little bit later, but we got room for everybody out here, though. With the top three from last night, Spaz, Damien, and Ronan. Shout out again, the folks. The more you chat, the more YouTube points you get and everything like that. That's how you get on the top of the charts out there. Super stickers, super chats, they help you out. But let's again, Spaz is always dominating out here. He's running the leaderboard. He's running the gambit out here. Let's see somebody knock him down.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody got to be in that chat more than Spaz.
Right. But Zach, National Hamburger Day. So did you have a hamburger today?
I did not have a hamburger today, but I got some folks in town from my hometown of Buffalo and they brought some pizza. So, I'm going to have that, in the next day or so.
Fair enough. Trust me, that's the one thing of not living in my hometown, not even my home state or anything, is the one like pizza shop that you always go to. It's not a chain. It's not Domino's or Pizza Hut. Or even a Little Caesars. It's a local mom and pop shop that you can only get there.
Yeah. And I feel like we don't have too many of those here in Atlanta.
Well, it's Atlanta though, too.
It is.
That's one thing. It's like major city. Like even Buffalo is still small compared to Atlanta. But Zach, what up? Kevin, what up?
What's up, Kevin?
Damon, I see you. Eric, shouting out all the birthdays. Can't wait for 2 champions versus challengers matches tonight. And happy birthday to the visionary Seth Rollins. And Gladys Knight. Morris Day in the Nights. But Sean Reed, what up? Make sure you smash that like button, folks. I know we've been flirting with about 20 to 30 people out here. Let's see if we can get those numbers up out here. It's Thursday. We got to pack in this building out here. TNA might be dealing with their attendance issues. We don't need to be dealing with ours.
Right.
Mark, TNA. Ronan, what up? Ken saw a report TNA's viewership was under 200K for 3 straight weeks. Maybe it's time to go live every week. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not the big on talking about ratings. But I mean, I don't have a problem where TNA is. And I know that's been a hot topic over the past like several days on X. Even to the point where someone said that Scott D'Amore needs to come back. And I think
I didn't know.
I think both of me and you both shut that down in that tweet. Like that doesn't need to happen. No. I can say that I do feel like creative needs to step up. I think across the board, like creative needs to step up with all wrestling shows, but in TNA standpoint, with them being more national than they were just at the end of the year on Access TV, I do feel like a creative movement and a shift needs to happen. I know from some of the things that I have seen, and I know we got to get back to the chat and the show starts real
Right.
soon, but I do know some of the things I have seen is like we need actually like creative storylines, more meaningful storylines, more impactful storylines, and we don't have that. I can say like the most impactful storyline that we've had this year is obviously Macklin and Santana. That's been the most impactful this year. Outside of that, it hasn't been. But I also feel like a part of that issue was the partnership with WWE, with like WWE talents holding the TNA titles and them not being able to kind of make storylines involving the TNA talent. Now that the TNA talent kind of have now that TNA has all the belts again, and as we charge towards Slammiversary, maybe this is the time where we start to shift. Also, I know a lot of people dislike Tommy Dreamer. I'm not one to like dislike Tommy Dreamer, but there needs to maybe be a change in the creative room as well.
Fair enough. There was a lot that I want to respond to on all of that, so I'm going to try and do my best to put a linchpin in that because no, I agree with some of your sentiments, and I do also still wonder should maybe the time slot should it move up an hour if they can? Of would that help the numbers potentially? Of because that's kind of normal wrestling watching hour times, if that makes any bit of sense. And also, I think the WWE partnership to an extent put TNA in a bit more of a prominent spotlight. Yes, I know like Ariana Grace held the belt probably for too long, but like Trick being the TNA world champion, I think put a lot of eyes on TNA.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Like I agree that like throughout the summer last year with Trick holding the title and things like that, all that was cool, right? Even when JC Jane had the knockouts title, I thought that was pretty cool. But when we wrapped, I felt like when we wrapped up, at least on the NXT side, the storylines and the invasion. Now a lot of people don't really know that there was like a secondary invasion with TNA. That's what caused Mike Santana to lose the title that everybody was unhappy about, but just there was a secondary invasion,
right?
And then that ended at Final Resolution, and then there I feel like that's when like we could have like went our own separate ways for a little bit, but they continued with Stacks with the international title, and then Ariana Grace held the women's the knockouts title, and it was like for a period of time I feel like y'all should have just focused on yourself, but that's
when the creative team very much comes into question. And again, that's more, I'll put a linchpin on that point. But I had even almost forgotten until you reminded me right there of when Robert Stone and Tyson and Tyreek all showed up, when Lexis King, which half that goddamn invasion's now been released from the company,
right?
WWE. But when they showed up and screwed over Santana, and that was just never mentioned anywhere else ever.
Yeah. I mean, it was quick because it started at the beginning of November, and then it went on for like 3 weeks until Final Resolution, where they had this big cage match. It was TNA versus NXT, and that was when I believe that was the same night that Ariana Grace turned on Santino after TNA won. And then Stacks won the title a couple of weeks later. It was like on a recorded episode. And that's kind of where I feel where the creative just took a big kind of shift, a little bit. That's where it kind of should have ended right there with NXT and TNA for the time being. Not saying it should have ended permanently, just for the time being.
Fair enough. Well, I'll end this conversation for the time being.
Yes, we can revisit it later
minute right now. And I do like this, though, from Mark. Last thing is I'm going to still try and get through as many names as I can quickly. I just want this company to get back where they used to be. I always thought they were the true alternative to WWE. They were kind of the first since WCW. But Mega, we got you covered because you don't got it up there in Canada, I guess. I'm going to star you because that's something I do want to talk about because it's with the New Japan and AEW deal. Is I got Kazarian coming right out right now.
Yeah, it seems like we're going right into the first champion. Champion challenge match?
Yes,
so we're going right into that.
Let us know. I don't know how to truly call this because it's still, if the non-champions get a pin, then that person gets. So it's a double prediction, I guess. Who do you think could get the pin and get a championship opportunity, and do the challengers even win? Because the champions could still win this somehow.
Right. The champions could still win this. So if I'm going to pick on the challenger side, I know we talked about Leon Slater earlier. Looking at the lineup, another good person would be Mr. Elijah back there. You know, I know me and you both have talked about him potentially being in the title picture, in the world title picture. I don't know. Is it you can help me with this because I'm unsure. Is it the challenger that pins the specific champion get the opportunity to that championship?
That I'm honestly, I was kind of halfway relying on you because the most that I've seen is they get a championship opportunity. So that's why I'm almost like I'm going to throw an outside sideball curveball here. Of Casey Navarro wins, puts it on the line versus AJ Francis. AJ Francis wins it. AJ Francis, Mike Santana world title match. That's my just backroads way to get to AJ Santana.
No, I like that. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Yeah, I guess unless it's like a championship.
You heard it here. We're the creative meeting right now for TNA.
Right. And I'm assuming like maybe it could be one of those championships of their choosing. Like they get to choose who they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could EY win it and then I'm going to take Ali's belt and Santana's belt. I'm going to be double champ. I'm going to close this whole company. Yes, Leon Slater coming out right now. Dari Bennett out there on Twitch. June is Pride Month next month. Happy early Pride Month. 100% of absolutely love how you love, live how you want to live. We love everybody out here, and especially as long as you're talking wrestling and being semi-respectful about it. You can be a smartass, but you still got to be kind of respectful about it. We're good with you. Don't matter. No nothing else. That's the only qualification. We only got one.
Now we got
what up?
Yeah, so we definitely are starting off with this champion challenge match. Just wanted to head that up, but go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, you're good. Well, here you can read this one from Spanish.
Guys in chat, help me solve a Twitter debate. From a physical perspective, is singing a sport? This is a Twitter debate? That's weird. I guess in my stance, it could be a sport. Like it's a competition if you look at things like American Idol and The Voice and things of that sort, but you also have to train your vocal cords. You also have to train your ear to hear different different tunes and different harmonies. So, and for some people they have to stay physically fit too. So yeah, it might be a sport, honestly.
Well, the singer would say that, and normally I'm the singer here, but you're the one that actually sings and everything. You're the one that I would actually be doing the Star Spangled Banner. I'd just be right up, right. Oh, yeah, no. So I don't know. There's nothing athletic about it to me or anything that to me would qualify it as a sport. It is very much a skill and a talent. I don't know if there's so much of an athletic or competitive, I don't even say competitive, I'll just stick with athletic aspect to it. Like,
that's true.
You don't have to I wouldn't say art is a sport, and that you very much have to have a specific set of skills and dexterity and everything like that to be a good artist, much like you have to with being a good singer. So that's why I wouldn't say it's a sport.
That's true. And then Boston makes a great point here, since they consider chess a sport. What's athletic about that?
Mental athleticism. It's still think about it. Even with like a quarterback, you have to be cerebral with that. You have to be calculated, and any sort of athleticism in the moves that you make and the manner that you proceed is football, not human chess.
Oh,
we're gonna get.
I was gonna say that's maybe not a question for me to answer.
Boston.
I was gonna say maybe that's not a question for me to answer.
You want to go Goodwill Hunting? How about them apples, Boston? But now we've got the champions out here, which it's just the system and Santana, really. I know all these there, but he's a heel too. Right. It's all heels and one baby face.
Yeah, it's the system, Mustafa Ali and Santana, but it's more of the system than anything. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Leon Slater is eyeing Cedric Alexander, so this could be where Cedric Alexander, Leon Slater picks up the victory and chooses Leon.
You instead of a triple threat for the world, you do a triple threat for the X. Well, no, Ultimate X. They're doing Ultimate X. But then that's fucking stupid. You should
Well,
probably
Ultimate X,
it's probably going to be an Ultimate X anyways.
well, Ultimate X is like you can either do it for the title or for an opportunity at the X Division title, which they have done in the past. But
splitting hairs.
Right.
But I got Santana coming out of the Solution. I see you. I know we chatted quite a bit, so I'm trying to catch up on any names. Cooper, I see you. Mark, I still see you. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. What up? As I try and do my best KJ impression. Ricky, hey pals. As this just keeps going. God is great. Shout out Boston. What up? Cooper Austin, I see you. Alan Bailey, TNA. Auntie Pam in TNA. Hey, what do you say?
I mean, I've seen the discourse with Bailey and some of the TNA talent inviting her to Slammiversary. Could it happen? I don't know.
Right. But Almighty Pop saying, wait, I'm confused by this match. Could you guys explain it to me? So do you want to explain it? Do you want me to?
I mean, I think Nick and I are both trying to understand what this is, but it's a champions challenge match. There's all champions on one side, all TNA, they call them all stars on the opposite side. If one of the challengers pins a champion, they get a title shot. That's what. Hold on.
What?
They're explaining it. So if Eric Young pins Mike Santana, so if Eric Young pins Mike Santana, nothing changes. If Eric Young pins anybody else in that match, they specifically used Cedric Alexander in that case, he will get a championship opportunity against Cedric Alexander. So
now, is that just though for EY because EY is already a challenger for the world title?
I think that's more for everybody because it would make sense to, if you pin the specific champion, you'll get an opportunity at that championship. So if EY pins if EY pins Cedric, he will get an opportunity at the X Division title, and he holds that number one contendership spot for the world title. So it seems like whoever you pin, you get that opportunity to that championship.
So if Elijah pins Bear Bronson, who's his tag partner?
I guess he has to find someone.
Yeah, that's
crazy, right?
That's a little lost in the sauce and everything. If I get the idea, the concept, it does get interesting. But I don't know if we have to sit here and be doing breakdowns to try and figure out what's truly going on in this match. But I do guess that at least it makes it to where the whole heel team that should also want to be world champion doesn't just screw over Mike Santana, beat the piss out of him, and say, "Why do you pin him?"
Also, I think this is pretty new with the second stipulation, because before, if from my memory, there was never a stipulation type thing on this match. It was just a showcase.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It's just a showcase, number one contenders versus
exactly. It was, and if I can remember correctly, like the first one involved Jordan Grace. Like there was never a separate knockouts one. Jordan Grace was in on the whole match.
This was your all-star game before Slammiversary.
Exactly. So this is TNA trying to do new things, and we know TNA can do new things and they work out great, and then they do new things, reverse battle royal, and they don't turn out great.
Do one and only things out here. Well, that's the thing, is because they had mentioned about how they were bringing this back, and Sean Reed saying it's different. I'll give TNA that, but I had heard Santino last week say that they were bringing it back, and I was expecting you to be like, did I misremember this being this way before? I literally thought that it was just going to be all the champs. I didn't even expect the knockouts one until I looked at the preview today, and I'm like, I thought this was before it was just the kind of all-star game, like Jora was intergender, and it's more of, it's not even who exactly wins. It's all of just showcasing all of your current feuds.
Yeah, if I'm gonna look it up, but if I can remember correctly, like the first one was all the singles titles. So I believe it was like the world title, the X Division title, the Knockouts title, and then at that time it was the digital media title. I feel like it was 4-on-4. I'm gonna look it up, but then it was 4 on the opposite side, but they were all concurrently in a feud, like you just said. So
Right.
this is definitely like a twist on the original Champions Challenge in TNA.
Right. Well, while you look that up, I'll read out Spaz out here and say shout out to everybody out there on a thirsty Thursday, feel good early Friday. A special reminder, tomorrow SmackDown is going to be early in the afternoon. I think we go live at 1:45 because it's going to be live in Italy because it's the go home show for Clash in Italy. But also, I forgot even my second point, so I'm going to go right into Spaz with his $5 super chat. It's Tony's night, Mr. Every Night, Big Nick, White, what, who? Plugs, Clash preview available now, and AAA Noche de las Grandes preview going live tonight. And we will also be live for that, which that'll actually be, they're airing that on YouTube too as well. It's not on the Fox or anything like that. They're very much like, everybody can watch this. And I haven't fully looked out at the card for that besides Mask versus Mask, but I saw, what was it? Dragon Lee versus Ray Phoenix or something like that for the AAA Cruiserweight title. And I'm like, yes, please. And twice of it.
I can't find much on the previous ones, but they don't mention that the winner got a championship opportunity. So I can at least say that from Google's standpoint.
Fair enough.
But yes, AAA is this Saturday. I'm excited for it.
Fair enough. I misspoke. Thank you, Spaz. Our resident, AAA insider out there. Laredo Kid versus Phoenix. Mancopa. Vitamins make the pages stick together. I'm not going to sound rude and say they all mask together.
And if anybody missed the last match they had this past week, be sure to tune into this one, because if it was anything like last week, yeah, you're in for something special, because I think Laredo Kid hit like a Canadian Destroyer DDT. And that was like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Has AAA and Vance, what up? And Spaz, I know you have a super chat. Has AAA become the best promotion in wrestling currently? Like, I haven't heard someone that's really like gangbanged or had like a whole real crash out about AAA.
I haven't.
Really negative about them doing cool shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody really talk about AAA negatively. I've really enjoyed it. I like that it's only an hour. I like that they only have 2 or 3 matches each episode, because it makes you want more, makes you want to come back next week to see what they have. There hasn't, in my opinion, been a bad episode yet, and every match has been really good that I have seen. So,
and I did actually see, I believe that WWE has recently started adding replica masks for like La Parka, Octagon Jr., and Dr. Wagner Jr. To their merch store as well.
Yeah, and they've added the AAA, mega title as well as a replica belt.
Well, and I guess they're going to do the replica, so the intergender tag belts, that they're about to do those as a replica belt that they're going to drop too as well. So they're very much all in on AAA.
They're all in on AAA. I hope they don't do a replica belt of their women's title, because it's butt ugly. I want them to redesign it. I want them to redesign
That's why you and Boston are friends. Y'all just be agreeing on that belt is ass. No, that's ugly. That's trash. That's why you like TNA, because TNA belts are actually good.
Yeah, they're really good. All of them designs for those belts are really nice. So yeah, I'm excited for AAA on Saturday. I think it's going to be a good one.
Wagner Jr. versus Vikingo sounds fantastic. War Raiders versus Psycho Circus versus the Clowns.
Yes,
sounds dope. And is it 2 nights or is it one thing? I've seen kind of both.
I think it's 2 nights, because what they've done in the past, like when they did the Raya de Reyes like thing. That was like
This
over
is a bunch of people who don't speak Spanish trying to speak Spanish right now, too, by the way.
That was like over like 4 weeks, 1 hour episodes each week. So I think this is gonna be the same 2 nights, so it'll be 1 episode this week and then 1 episode next week.
All right, hold on. I'm looking at the card here. You let people know what's going on in the match.
All right, so we got TNA going on. We got Mike Santana and Kazarian in the ring. Mike Santana has taken control of this match with a nasty drop kick. So that's what we got going on right now on TNA. Going to click on the chat here. Almighty Pop says, yes, AAA is at least WWE's best show, hands down to me. They had like one okay show, and you're absolutely right. I feel like it is WWE's best show, most consistent show. It's definitely been a wild ride to watch AAA.
And I still stand by this conspiracy theory that do you actually believe that Jeremy Borash, Mr. TNA, by the way, that TNA could really use, I guess, is him and Undertaker are the masterminds behind Lucha Libre out there in AAA. The dead man came down to Mexico and just told them how it's going to go.
I've heard 3 names actually, and 2 of them you mentioned, and the third name I've heard is JBL. Until I hear something different,
guy notorious, infamous for different ways with Mexico.
Exactly.
Very interesting. 3 people I never expect to be attached to Lucha Libre are apparently masterminds of Lucha Libre.
Until I hear something different, as Elijah hits a nasty power bomb on. Yeah, Elijah hits a nasty power bomb on Mustafa Ali for a 2 count. But until I hear something different, I'm going with those 3 guys running AAA.
I still think they got a Vig. They're out there with, it's a mob kind of job. If it's a very nice, and trust me, we know allegedly that WWE likes to do where they'll just get you in that little catbird seat and you can still get money, and we'll just skirt around the rules because the rules don't apply. That they're kind of there because we're going to have you in a position. You're going to still work for the company. This is how you're going to work for the company. And you're going to show up. You're going to say you're there. You're going to make a bunch of money. You ain't got to do shit except say that you're there.
That's true. That could be the case.
Yeah. You really think Lucha Taker is a thing?
I think, though, I'm going to say I'm about 65 to 70% sure that I heard it come from Triple H's mouth himself that Undertaker was helping with the booking of TNA. And that was crazy by Slater.
As he still just hits an extra stomp on Cedric.
And he's over there just celebrating.
Leon Slater has probably the most impressive to where he goes up over the ring post and just taps the top turnbuckle and completely vaults over the top ring post.
And every time like he hits that move, I get scared that his back is going to hit that, post. But it doesn't. And I'm thankful after. So as TNA goes back to commercial.
Right, but saying Ivy Nile comes out to interfere in the Mass v Mass match. Pimpinella comes out to stop Ivy Nile and ends up costing Chad the match. Maybe this has been the best built feud of 2026. What was allegedly the most offensive gimmick in pro wrestling has now become the most entertaining story in pro wrestling. Of El Grande versus El Grande. And like Spaz said, I think El Grande is going to win, but I do think it's going to be Ludwig, who, shout out Gunther for being a real one, being a homie, and picking up that tab out there. Gunther paid the bail.
I think it has to be Ludwig. Like Mexico is behind that man 100%. And like you said, it was the gimmick was so offensive apparently. And as soon as it showed up on AAA and the Mexican crowd erupted, everyone is silent. They're not saying anything about that. I mean, I think I might have been a person that tweeted out was like, I thought this gimmick was offensive because clearly Mexico loves it. I'm waiting for the day where Ludwig's El Grande takes the title away from Dominic Mysterio,
and
because
they
Mexico
will carry him through the streets.
Exactly. They are going to carry that man through the streets on their backs. That's how much they love this man. The pop, the celebration is going to be wild for that moment. And I don't know when they're going to do it. I don't know if that's going to be a part of Triple Mania, which I believe is in September, which is 2 nights too. Because I believe, if I can remember correctly, and I know Spaz is out there, I'm the TNA guy, he's the AAA guy, but I think El Grande is the number one contender because he won that match with the sword, I think, in the Rey de Reyes tournament thing. Help me out, Spaz. But I think he is the number one contender. So yeah, I'm excited for that match in that moment.
But it's just crazy to me of that. It is so much, and I'm going to say this as a Caucasian human being, there's a lot of Caucasian human beings that were very much offended on other people's behalf with that whole situation that now has resulted in Ludwig Kaiser as El Grande Americano, the champion of Mexico, and German or no, he's German out there, playing an American luchador gimmick in Mexico, has made this the greatest story. He is the greatest hero. It's going to be like the old territory days, like we talked about him. They would literally carry this man out in the street he just got locked up for punching a man. And they still love it. They're like, I don't care.
Exactly.
Amazing. Please kiss my baby.
Exactly. And that's, and I don't want to bring him up, but that's the same kind of reception that oh man, I lost my
Alberto.
Yes, Alberto. That's the same reaction Alberto was getting from the Mexican crowd too, from the Mexico crowd. I know that. I'm just saying it's just different across border lines, and you can tell it's just different across border lines. That's the only thing I kind of wanted to mention, that it's just different across.
It's more of just don't be upset on someone that you're not your representation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Almighty saying, if you think about it, people responsible basically said, screw the tradition style. We need a bunch of Rey Mysterios and it'll be a banger. Well, now Rey's the GM of AAA, which now he's got to screw with his kid because his kid's the world title holder, right?
I know that's coming. And they showed Dominic Mysterio being upset that his father is now the general manager of AAA. So yes, it's crazy.
But Spaz with $5 saying AAA Australian Rally Trios Los Toxicos versus Lola, Bailey, and Catalina. Oh, yeah, because Bailey did show up in AAA. And yeah, Lola and Bailey in the same match. That's a yum-yums and a half. When you got to pin the team captain or both of the members. Fun. Yeah, I love when I have to have a fucking rule sheet beside me to make sure I know all the possible outcomes of a match.
Right.
As we go back to speaking of having to know all the outcomes of a possible match
yeah, we're back with TNA with Elijah hitting a double suplex on two members of the system there.
Now who in this match is not getting a pin? Because Kazarian, what title are you going to challenge for? Elijah, what title are you going to challenge for? Maybe Mustafa?
Santana just clocked Ali and then took out Myers too.
Oh, so then they just tossed in Kazarian and just
exactly
eat everything.
I feel like on the challenger side, the two more likely to get a pin victory here is Leon and Elijah. I don't see Casey Navarro picking up a pin. I mean, if he does, he does, but I just don't see it. And definitely not Kazarian. I think we're past the Kazarian, heel run, as any type of champion for the moment.
There. The Caucasity. Yes, the Caucasity. Clutching my Caucasian pearls. The Caucasity. Peter Piper picked the pickled peppers. Of how many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick? One around that fucking way. Santana up top. The fucking top rope, nothing. I hate that move of where someone jumps off the top rope doing fucking all. cutter into
and then a neck
cutter.
breaker.
No, you had a front cutter into a back cutter. Pause. Yeah.
Right. Sean down here. Oh, yeah,
Very
Sean
good.
down here saying the original is Gable, right? Yes, the original is Gable, and Kaiser is the other one. I'll just
But
say
it's
it like
so
that.
crazy how it hasn't translated from Mexico to the US. Like in the US, they try and treat Ludwig Grande, Grande the second, as the heel, when in Mexico he's the babyface. Like the
He's
roles
a
are completely
babyface,
reversed. That Chad Gable literally wears a different mask
yeah,
in the US than he does in Mexico.
yeah. It it hasn't really translated with the crowd either, because if you watch it when it comes up on Raw and SmackDown, ooh, nice DDT by Casey Navarro. When you watch it on Raw and SmackDown, the crowd is not into it. But then when
Well,
you turn on AAA,
it was initially
it
when you
was
had
initially,
Ludwig out
yeah,
there and you had the Rojos and the Rios and all of that behind
yeah.
him taking everybody out. And then you thought they'd be something. And then you got, Brutus Creed out there looking like he cut up his own underwear and stuck it on his head. And that's supposed to be a fucking luchador. Like, nah, that's not a grande. That's a espresso. That's I don't even know a term for it. Not a grande. Bronson just wailing away on Navarro.
Yeah, taking it to Casey Navarro.
Well, and I was just clicking on haha saying, I mean, is Anthony hinting at a Mexican Superman border tossing Laredo Kid? Are you hinting at a Hernandez? What?
I don't know.
Just randomly a super callback to old school TNA.
Right. A super callback there, but I don't know. I don't know if I was hinting at that.
Los Hermanos El Pollo Loco. Yeah, Santana's getting pinned, and I'm hoping it's by Leon. It would be a nice twist. That's kind of what you said.
Yeah, and it's been a minute since like Santana has gotten pinned. Like, I can't recall.
It's been a whole 2 weeks, I feel.
Well, no, because I mean, he beat what's his name last week? Steve Macklin.
Yeah, he beat Macklin.
Yeah, at Rebellion he faced Eddie Edwards. He won.
Wasn't he in a tag recently that he still lost? Like, I feel like he's had.
He didn't get pinned, but Leon got pinned, and they lost that. That was actually at the Atlanta tapings, I think.
Fair enough.
So like him actually losing, it's been a while. Like him taking the pin, I'll say it's been a while.
Now, does that help or hurt your champ though? If he's the one taking the pin.
If you're on the verge of him losing the title, which I could potentially see it happening soon, I don't really think it hurts him that much.
What is the collective length of Mike Santana's reigns? Because I feel like he has not had a single long reign as champion.
So the first reign was a month. This one's been since January. So he's been champion almost 7 months, 6-7 months. It'd be 6 months in June. So
but he had no year.
No, but most champions in TNA over the past couple of years haven't held that title more than about 6 months. With Leon going to the top.
Swanton 50. Oh, fuck you, Alicia.
Alicia, come on.
Why
now.
are you helping Ali? I know heel. I guess it's old school heel logic. I know. I should shut up. This is the type of I would actually like if it wasn't Alicia Edwards, because it's heels being heels. Because
that's true.
Faces, that's how it used to be. Of all the heels, somehow seemed like they all hated. There's everybody that was good.
I was gonna say though, if it is Leon and like Mustafa, I think that's a match we haven't seen yet.
Oh, it'd be an amazing match. It would tag into Casey.
Oh, Casey Navarro. That's a nice move.
Yo.
Casey Navarro for the international title?
That's a hell of a match, though.
And I literally just said, I don't see Casey winning. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, sir. I was not familiar with your game.
So, Casey, I would assume this would be Slammiversary. We got to start because it's roughly a month now until Slammiversary.
Yeah, but Leon did the heavy lifting, being a good lad, tagging in Casey,
Yeah.
and that's a hell of a Spanish fly crossroads is the
Yeah.
best way I can describe that. And do that more. If that's not your finisher and just, I'm not familiar with your game, sir, I apologize. But goddamn, was that impressive. And I could actually believe Tor Casey could beat Ali.
I can believe that too, honestly. I really could believe that. And like you say, that's a match. That's going to be a good, a
That's
good
going to
match.
cook. That's going to cook. Who wins in the battle of the pink offs, though? Casey Navarro or Kyle Fletcher? Who's more pink?
I think Kyle Fletcher. I think
Casey's got the hair dye. Kyle doesn't have the hair.
That's
dye.
True. Kyle doesn't even have hair. It may be Casey.
Well, speaking of pink, I have Ariana Grace and Stacks on my screen. The battle of the in-laws tonight.
I pray this ends tonight. I hope this is the end. Like this goes back to what I said at the beginning of the stream where we talk about storylines. Like there's some good, there's some not so good, and there's just flat out bad. And this is not good. This is terrible. Please let it end tonight. I know I stick on the positive side of everything with TNA, but I am sick and tired of this story.
Don't tell KJ, but that's like the first time I've broken kind of like that in a good minute of I feel of just the way you said that, of just straight dead into the camera and everything of I pray this ends tonight. It sounded like like cut to the start of a horror movie trailer or something. You felt that.
It's like was it?
Been so sick of this.
Was it Halloween? Was it Halloween Ends? I think when they were chanting "Evil dies tonight." Like
Evil dies tonight.
This is what I want. I want this to die tonight. I want this to be the end.
You had to pick arguably top 5, one of the worst Halloween movies, only outdone by its follow up in the trilogy.
Oh, that movie was so terrible.
Halloween movie.
That movie was so terrible. Halloween.
That's the only one that I've watched for free and still wanted my money back.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, but so tonight we got the battle of the in-laws, and we get raise your glass and fill. We get Pink singing on Tessa.
And like you already know, like, and I'm not trying to be mean, but this is going to be the downer. If you watch what's that? What is that YouTube? The YouTube guys, they do like the ups and the downs.
Simon Miller.
Yes, Simon Miller. They do the ups and the downs. This is definitely going to be a down. Like that. It's just. Oh, this is stressing me out, Nick.
Well, and which one are you talking about here? Which, by the way, we as a channel, or at least I respectfully love Simon. No,
yes, I do too.
I don't know about what culture. Simon Miller is fantastic.
Yes, I love Simon Miller.
Yeah, well, the rest of what culture, you can do what you want with him. Simon Miller, we love that boy. But are you saying with the in-law battle, because I had like Tessa and Harley Hudson are up out there, so I'm saying. I'm just trying to clarify which one are you saying is down.
I'm talking about.
Most people would assume I'm saying Tessa's a down.
Oh no, I'm talking about
being a down.
I pulled the Tessa thing up because that's up next. That's the next matchup next. But yes, the down is the in-laws. Like I just this is stressing me out.
But I love me some Santino. There's the idea.
I like Santino.
Milan Mirko show up in Italy for Clash in Italy.
Like I like Santino. I have no problem with Santino. It's just this whole Stacks, and I don't even dislike Ariana Grace. I don't dislike her. I dislike Stacks. Like when he beat Steve Macklin, I'm like, in what world would this actually happen? In what world would Stacks actually beat Steve Macklin? And that was the moment when I was like, please get them off my TV. Please get them off my TV each and every week because I can't do it.
Right. Well, Captain Dantastic, we're out here still doing it. But Boston top 5. I wasn't trying to just live rattle off everything. I don't have the statistics before me of even which one's called what or anything. At this point, it's more of just what year or how recent.
Right. We
But
were just trying to figure out that chant. And I couldn't remember if it was Halloween Ends or the one before it.
they were both
Um
bad. They were all bad.
well, I thought the first two were good, but
No, no.
the first two of the
The
remake, like
first
the ones
one
that
with what's her name there, Scorny Weaver, uh, to where when that was actually all right. That was the only good one out of that little trilogy there. The
okay.
second one was trash, and the third one was even trashier. To where
I,
Michael just
I
transplants his powers because he stares you in the eye. He gave you the evil eye.
I thought the first one was really good. The second one could have been better, but I'll at least say like I enjoyed it. I didn't walk away like this is terrible, like this is trash. I enjoyed it. If I do go back and rewatch it, that would be one I would rewatch. Halloween Ends was just I never want to see that again. Like it's to me Halloween Ends ended with the second one.
But to me, like I said, and I'll stand by it for both of them at least. I watched them both for free, and I still want my money back on it because they were both trash. Like we're
That's
out here
fair
picking
though.
through trash, trying to say which is the trashiest. It's all
That's
trash.
fair though. That's fair.
But so Lorenzo not going to continue his rivalry. Is Lorenzo and Ariana just part of a talent exchange of they got traded to TNA and nobody told them?
I feel like
They're TNA talent at this point. I don't want them back on NXT. I don't want them back in WWE. TNA, you can have them.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like they're the permanent crossover superstars right now. Is them. And that's just I mean, I guess it's okay. I don't
Well, and now you gotta here. I'm gonna cross over. You can show your crossover star, and you can let everybody know how you feel about all of this. Because I know you haven't liked this though from the jump. Like even once you won the title, you haven't liked this whole thing. So let the people know how you feel, sir. I'll be right back.
Absolutely, absolutely. As Nick steps away for a minute here, takes a pause. But yes, I have not been a fan of this at all. I just I don't like Ariana Grace. I mean, I do not like Ariana Grace. I actually like her. Her holding the Knockouts title was my problem, especially when you had Danny Luna right there. I understand Danny Luna had the visa issues, but the night that she won the title, Danny Luna returned, and the easiest thing you have, it was right there. It was served on a silver platter. It came out to you by a waiter that you had Danny Luna interrupt that match and cause a disqualification for Danny Luna to eventually get her spot for the Knockouts title because she was the number one contender. But no, they didn't do that. They had security come out and hold Danny Luna back for what's her name, Ariana Grace, to win the title. I can't with that. That was some terrible booking. As we got the Righteous and the Hardys and a promo here, and it seems like they may be talking about this Wicked Garden match that is happening next week. So yeah, that's what it seems like they're talking about. They said they saw the flower dying, so the Righteous decided to water it. I'm assuming Yeah, I'm assuming they're talking about, watering the plant to bring back Brother Nero and Broken Matt Hardy. So they said in the Wicked Garden, the vines won't let go. This is interesting. This is definitely giving cult like true crime vibes. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. So we're up next. We got Tessa Blanchard versus Harley Hudson. I know they're in a small feud right now. A lot of it's gone down on social media. So That's where we are now. I'm clicking on going back through the comments here. Spaz said, "You guys hating on everything. Stacks is good. Theory is going to be king of the ring." I didn't say Stacks wasn't good. I just said, in what world would Stacks beat Steve Macklin? That was my whole problem. Um, right there. I like Steve Macklin was on a roll, international champion. I feel like he kind of put that championship on the map, and then you drop it to Stacks. That's that's where I have a problem. I think. That's I guess that's a conversation for another day, but that's kind of how I feel. Vance, are they done making these crappy Halloween movies? I believe another studio bought the rights to the Halloween movies after the rights were done with the last studio. I'm not 100% sure, but I heard that they're in talks of doing some type of remake, reboot. I kind of just want Hollywood to come up with fresh ideas at this point, because we're doing a lot of remakes and a lot of reboots at this point. Sean says, in my opinion, Tessa Blanchard needs to be TNA Women's or Knockouts champion, and does TNA need to keep it? The TNA needs to keep the Knockouts division or go to just TNA Women's champion. I think you're asking if TNA needs to keep it as the Knockouts division or go to a women's division. I mean, the Knockouts division is technically the women's division, but the Knockout, saying Knockout has been like a thing for them for so many years. That's kind of the foundation of their women's division. And the Knockouts division, means a lot to the TNA Knockouts. So changing the name, I don't think really needs to happen. I mean, if they wanted to, they could, but the Knockouts division is solid with the name. It's not like, the Divas division. That term was not well taken by fans. So I think that's fine. We've talked about this quite a bit on the channel with Tessa Blanchard potentially being the Knockouts World Champion. If TNA wants to pull the trigger, they can. I wouldn't be opposed to it. She's the strongest knockout that they have, to be honest. And she's good in ring, to be honest. She's really good to be in ring. So, what's up, John C? So we are back with the action here. So we got Tessa versus Harley Hudson. Like I said, this feud kind of started on social media. There was like a social media clip posted out there by TNA with Tessa Blanchard kind of being the big bad bully towards Harley Hudson. This is kind of where we got to this match. But in hindsight, Tessa's group, the Diamond Collective, have kind of been feuding with Harley Hudson and Myla Moore over the past maybe 3 to 4 months. So I don't know where we actually go with this feud, to be honest. I know like we got Knockouts tag team action. All titles are going to be on the line. So who's going to step up to the Knockouts tag team champions, the Elegance brand? Could it be Harley Hudson and Myla Grace? Could it be Tessa Blanchard and her Diamond Collective? Also, could it be the folks from the Undead Realm? It looks like they're heading in the direction of it being Rosemary and Allie versus the Elegance brand from last week and what was drawn on the mirror last week. So that's where we could be going here. But that's kind of where the
Knockout of the Undead Realm. But yeah, coming back from the Undead Realm out here.
Yeah.
But no, that's why I thought Tessa and Co were kind of feuding with the Harley thing. If you didn't tell me that it was a thing on social media, I would have had no idea. I would have had no idea.
I don't know if TNA just doesn't have enough time to like put in like backstage segments, but a lot of what they do is like after the show, they'll post a lot of backstage segments, 2 or 3. I won't say a lot.
Well, they did. There's still, I know Small Mark sent it to us in the like a Discord chat or whatever and everything. I still might have to look at it, but I know TNA is kind of starting to try and to do more with creators and everything. Of obviously they had Creators Row, the content creators, the infamous up there with DX, NWO, and the content creators showing up in TNA. The three
Yeah.
greatest factions that show up in each separate company. But TNA could do a lot better with involving that, and overall just does the creative team there are changes that need to be made. I don't think that they went to AMC, and I don't know if everything else has adjusted accordingly.
Yeah, I thought, and we talked about this last week. I initially thought they were going to. I knew they weren't going to be live every week. Like I
Mhm.
knew that. I thought they were going to
You
be.
called that early.
Yeah, I at least thought they were going to be live, like, and my YouTube stream is going in and out, just to let you know.
Fair enough.
But I thought they were at least going to be live like maybe once or twice a month, and they were live the first two episodes. I think they were live again in February. No, they weren't live again in February. I'm sorry, they were live again in March. That was the one I went to. And then they haven't been live again until what was it, last week, the week before
They were
last?
in, was it San Diego?
Yeah, so that was like 2 weeks ago they were live. And so I really thought that was going to help them gain viewership, being at least live more infrequently than they were. I guess that
Mm,
I'll say it like that. And that hasn't happened. And then on the creative side, yes, I'm not blind to things needing to be changed. Like I'm definitely not blind to that. Again,
right.
there's things that I really do like. There's things that I really don't like. Um, and and hopefully that happens. Hopefully that changes. But how do you feel?
I Well, first I want to clarify, you talking about watching the show, or you talking about us when you said your YouTube, you know,
Oh no,
stream
I'm
of
talking about
wrestling?
the TNA YouTube TV
Okay, no,
stream.
fair enough.
Yeah,
Because I was halfway rewatching us. I was like, wait, nobody's sending me anything. I was doing like all the systems check of no technical difficulties. I
yeah,
think very much that there just needs to be a shakeup in creative.
yeah,
Of I've never personally been a fan of Tommy Dreamer's creative. Delirious did really well, and this is more just being uber nerd. And I know this is, well, actually kind of vibes of Delirious did well in Ring of Honor. I've never been a fan of Tommy's booking, and TNA has always had booking issues. Um, I don't know who I could bring in or what I would do to completely correct it, but
yeah.
I do think that there needs to be a bit of a shakeup. Like now, there needs to be a bit more thought. I feel in a long term goal or a clear direction on that feels where we're going with some of this shit.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely can like agree that it needs to be a shakeup. I don't like I've seen a lot of comments and tweets about, like everything is just like flat out terrible in Tina. And I don't feel like that. I don't feel like everything is just flat out terrible. Those tweets make it seem like that.
Well,
But
no, it's again, I'm like, you can paint everything with a broad stroke at theirs. We got a in 2 count from Tessa. I was trying to think if
yeah,
she hit a code breaker off the
yeah,
middle rope there.
she hit a Meteora
No,
or
it was a
code breaker. Yeah,
code
a code
breaker.
breaker.
And
Yeah,
literally I was
yeah.
struggling. I was breaking the code to say the word code breaker.
But yeah, I do feel like they just I feel like they need a creative shakeup. I don't
But to
know.
what you were saying though about of how some people everything's terrible. No, that's just painting with broad strokes. Like very much the same people that were, oh, it's low TNA
Oh,
when
she going for an
Cedric beat.
Alabama slam?
Oh,
Oh, that was like a neck
oh.
breaker.
Well, it was like a dead eye into into a neck breaker there. It was like the reverse kind of like Steph's or
Yeah.
Stephanie Lacour's move, but um, to sit there and act like the same people that were saying, "Oh, it's low TNA" when Cedric beat Leon to break the record. But that was a fantastic match, and everybody that was some of
Exactly.
the most exciting that TNA's put out there. Like they have the potential to do great shit. It's just they constantly feel like there's like they trip over like the kid that puts the stick in their own bike spokes a little bit at times.
Yeah, absolutely. As Tessa Blanchard hits the buzzsaw for a 3 count here, but absolutely, I feel like there's times where like TNA takes a good step forward. They take 2 or 3 steps forward, but and
Right.
then in some cases they'll take 1 or 2 steps back, right? And I feel like I'll put it like this. So when TNA went back to
Mhm.
TNA at the beginning of 2024, they let Scott Demore go, and they had Anthony Ciccone basically be the interim type thing for TNA after Scott Demore left. I thought 2024 was one of the best years of TNA.
Right.
I think they did the best. They did very very well. That was the formation of the system. That was Jordan Grace ruling the knockouts division. The tag team division was strong, right?
Right.
2025 was the start of the partnership with NXT and WWE. And I thought for the majority of 2025, TNA was on the uprising. They were doing really good. That's how they got, and that weaseled their way into getting the TV deal with AMC. And then it's
Mhm.
like they came to AMC. We all know the first episode wasn't the greatest. I feel like some things after that they kind of picked up. But right now, I feel like they're in a coasting stage and they're not doing anything big to move the needle.
I literally get out of my head because I was having almost the same idea. I was gonna damn near almost interrupt you to say, does it feel like they've been asleep at the wheel since the partnership with WWE? Of yes, we talked about how good it was, but they just realized at that point they could just coast and Triple H Hunter take the wheel. And now no one's been driving the ship here for a minute, and we're
I
just
would
sliding along the guardrail.
I would say more of not the WWE deal got them coasting. I feel like the move to AMC got them coasting. To me, it feels like
But
it feels like they worked so hard to
boomerang,
get.
I feel a little bit because one led, I think, to the other.
I feel like like when you work so hard to finally get to that pinnacle moment, and then you
Mhm.
have a moment to like breathe, and you're like you exhale, and then you're like we made it, but we don't have anything else to follow through with it right now. I think that's the portion of where TNA is.
Well, is that's actually an incredibly valid point. Of as I'm in commercial right now, as we're about to get your favorite match coming up next. Um, but is it that they kind of had that vibe or they felt that way about it of we made it, ha, exhale, and then just never got back up off the couch, of never committed back to the grind or anything like that, of okay, what's next?
Yeah, and I think that's exactly where they are. I think they took a big exhale once they got to AMC, and now they just didn't really have anything after. And like I said, I don't think everything that they have been doing in TNA is bad. I think they could just do a lot more that they're not doing, and I think that comes with a creative shakeup.
Right. John C. What up? Almighty Pop saying, do you guys think it would work if they started using the six-sided ring again?
Lockdown, lockdown, at least one night.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Well, because that ring infamously, I think AJ Styles is on the record the most of saying how difficult as a
Yeah.
actual in-ring performer that ring
Yes.
was to work with.
Yeah.
Because it's so unique. It's almost like too unique, if that makes any bit of sense. But
Yes, and it was hard on the bodies as well, on their bodies.
because you're
But I
literally
have
like the second you're normally when you would be taking like a suplex and you land in the center of the ring, now you're landing in the ropes across the ring because there's so much of a shorter distance.
right. I have heard like some of the TNA fans, not fans, I'm sorry, some of the TNA wrestlers said they will be behind it coming back for like one night. That's why I say like lockdown is the perfect thing, but having it come back all together, I don't ever see that happening.
No, it's a little too nostalgic, and I think outside of AJ, honestly, I'd have to say, and not sponsored at all, just he's a little friend of the channel and everything. And he actually is. It's a solid breakdown of listening to Stevie Richards talk about working in that because he was in TNA very much prominently when they had that six-sided ring. Of it was interesting and it would work for a nostalgia for like a lethal lockdown. You go
Yeah,
back to where it's the dome cage and everything instead of it's just a cage like every other show and everything. That works. But to
yeah,
do it week in and week out, it loses its value the more you see it.
yeah,
Especially because
absolutely.
it's not used often.
It's not used often, and like you said, I feel like it's more unique when if you do it like one time, and lockdown is the perfect time to do it. I did click on
Have
John
it
C.
become synonymous with that pay-per-view. Have it be that kind of a vibe.
Exactly. Have it be that vibe each and every year. Like lockdown is the
Oh,
all matches in the cage and the return
we're
of a
going
six-man
back
ring.
old school. I know we're getting a
Yeah.
six-sided ring tonight.
Exactly. But John C down here says you made it, but now you have to work harder. And that's exactly what TNA needs to do. Like they made it to the big time. They made it to the big network again, but they haven't worked harder, you know? And at least, and I'll say at least on creative, the wrestling has been great. There's countless matches within the past 2 to 3 weeks that like have hit. Macklin, that was a great match. The AJ Francis match was great.
A
The
lot of Mustafa Ali's matches of Cedric
A lot of
Alexander
Mustafa
versus
Ali's
Leon
matches
was
this year were
fantastic.
great. Yeah, the wrestling has been phenomenal there, but story wise, creatively, that's where the work harder needs to come in.
Yes, but I will also say this, and even as I guess entrepreneurs of trying to make it, doing this whole content creation thing, of it's still always that motivation of, all right, but what can I do better? What can I do more now, and everything. If there's never, you need to have that to where you can embrace the victory, but then it's back to work the next day kind of vibe of, trust me, I would love to get to the point to where this is the job, to where this is so self-sufficient and everything, that this is what we do, and we can even do more content. We can do all the live stuff too and everything.
Yeah.
But that's when I know of, that's when I didn't want to have a boss, so I became my boss, and now I got to work twice as hard because I am the boss. That kind of vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree.
But Wrestle Rant saying, I couldn't agree more. I feel like TNA just doesn't spend money since moving to AMC. Very little to none has changed.
Yeah. I feel you on that. I don't know. Obviously we don't know the terms of the deal. I think it was 3 years. I think it was 30 million, so 10 million each year, I think. But I kind of agree there. I feel like they haven't put themselves out there with the big money that they're potentially getting from AMC. So we'll see.
This is how, and hi Spaz, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Tony, thoughts on the rumor that the WWE TNA deal is going to be less NXT, more TN AAA? I hadn't even heard that.
I haven't heard that at all.
Well, then that's good, because I was going to say, before you answer that, I entirely forgot until just now, seeing them come out as with the birthright Titantron and everything, of that we do still see Stacks and Ariana Grace every week on NXT, but there's so much fucking wallpaper to the birthright that it never impacted, pun intended, anything. They made no difference.
Yeah, they don't make like a difference on screen. Yeah, absolutely.
I literally forgot that I was saying how they're just TNA talent because we don't need them in NXT, and then realized, but they're every week in NXT in the background, in the group with the birthright.
Yeah.
That has completely been a failure to fucking launch.
Well, we do have this matchup coming up. My least favorite match of the night: Santino versus Stacks. So who you got winning?
Start time stamping. We're at a minute, or we're an hour 12:10 right now in the stream right now. For anyone that needs a timestamp,
Exactly.
to watch the crash out happen live. The most rewatched part of this stream right now is
right. Well, we got this match. So who you got winning? Who in the chat? Who you got winning? Ronan says Stacks for the win. Sadly, Damien says Stacks for the win. Anthony's a Santino. No, I'm not a Santino hater. I'm a Stacks hater. That's who I'm a hater of. I'm a Ariana.
He's pulling for Santino.
Yes, I'm pulling for Santino to win so we can end this. I want this gone. I want this done and over with.
I think you might be right. And well, even then, Santino, surprisingly, I feel, is still the better wrestler than Stacks, even despite the age gap. As we are underway. But yeah, the Milan Miracle out here taking on his son-in-law. And also there's the potential that he could show up at Clash in Italy, because it's been a little, that's been rumored, but it's been a little Italian light feels from WWE on the show. Yes, they're in Italy, but there's not an Italian presence. You're soft, you're sloppy, jalopy. You know, do you get them showing up and debuting out there? Of course, just to offend every Italian out there, the most Italian American gimmick of all time.
That would be cool if Santino shows up at Clash in Italy. That would be cool. I ain't opposed to that at all.
That's where he made his debut. Well, it was Milan. That's the Milan Miracle.
All right. Here's the down of the night.
No, come on.
That was almost a two. That was almost a 3 count.
You can't be mad. You can't be pre-mad.
I'm pre-mad for this.
This is where, folks, you go and get your new pre-mad merch drop out there 100%. If you're out there dealing with the hot, stormy, humid weather out there, you get yourself your pre-mad. It's, 100% backed by the IWC. If you want to be like Anthony out there and just already upset before what happens, you can be pre-mad.
I'm pre-mad. I'm definitely pre-mad.
Normally, I'm this one. Why am I the reasonable one here? This isn't supposed to happen. I want this to just be over altogether. But then still just enjoy the ending. We made it to the end.
I'll exhale at the ending. If that's the joy, if that's enjoying it, I will exhale at the end.
Like how I watched MJF versus Darby. Of like, I just needed to end to just get me to the finish to make sure it doesn't fuck up. Every time Darby got a 2 count, I was like, oh God. Elizabeth.
Probably like when when the Undertaker faced Triple H for the first time at WrestleMania 27, every time Triple H had a 2 count, my heart was like beating out of my chest because it was like, don't lose, Taker, don't lose. So yes, I get the feeling.
I will respectfully, I honestly, and this is gonna sound sad, I haven't kind of been that way for a bit since like Kofi Mania. That's when the first show that I watched with the missus was Kofi Mania, WrestleMania 34, to where she literally almost had to call 911 because I soccer goal celebration myself almost into a doorway.
I think the last time I was like that, because I would say Naomi's cash in, but like that was like it was a shock, so I don't really want to count that like it was a shock that she was cashing in.
Well, I'm wondering like,
something that I was anticipating for.
I'm wondering if you were here for it, like on stream and everything
for
Naomi's cash in.
No, I was there. Like I was at the show. I was at Evolution.
Well, Jesus H. Time Dives in Christ. I'm talking about watching on TV. I thought I was going to at least say you were on stream, so that's where you were halfway kind of restrained with it.
No, I was at Evolution, but I think I would say the main event between Bianca and Sasha Banks, I was really behind like Bianca winning that match, and there was some times in that match where Sasha Banks almost won, and my heart like almost jumped out my chest. I think that was like truly the last time where I felt like, I had that moment where I thought it was going to be all over,
But that's the good shit though in pro wrestling. That's the thing you want all the time. That's the thing that keeps you coming back. That's that smack, crack, jack back. Yeah.
So Damien down here saying Anthony's pre-mad. Yes, I'm pre-mad all the time when it comes to this with Santino and Stacks. But glancing at this match so far, it's not half bad. So maybe I was pre-mad.
See? You were pre-mad. I think we all said a little bit too quick. I had said you were pre-mad. And I'm the guy who's normally pre-mad. It's 100% of just let it. Hopefully this ends. This is what we're seeing is a Thanksgiving, a holiday, dinner at the Morella household out here.
Exactly.
How this normally would end around Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Right. And the crowd is actually into it. They're chanting and stuff. So yeah, I was definitely pre-mad, but I just again
But
hope
is
this is
this
the
still
end.
a bit of like how much is this of a captivating? If I'm watching AMC or the Cobra, that I need to see this. I'm invested in this. Like you've trashed this whole storyline from the jump. So
Mhm.
are people out there just like, please, like you said, just let it end, just let it die.
Oh my god.
It won't can die. It just won't die. It won't go away. And Santino was going for the Cobra, and then Ariana grabs her pop's Cobra. Pause, and then Stacks gets the most devastating move in professional wrestling: this small package roll up, the surprise roll up for a 1, 2,
And it
3.
wasn't even a good roll up. It wasn't even a good roll up.
As now
And
they're
she's
just
screaming
holding.
about her title being taken away from her.
Like I knew there. Oh my! No one in this is likable enough to love it, and
No.
no one in this is hateable enough to like, oh my god, I can't wait to see them get beat up. It's just this is channel click.
And then why is oh god. Now Indy. Please don't tell me this leads to a mixed tag team match down the line. I don't.
Stepmom's out here. Stepmom's out here.
This is just.
Indy Hartwell is
And
now
I said,
officially
why is
Ariana
Indy coming
Grace's
out here?
stepmom.
I know Indy Hartwell is a part of this storyline. Like she was suspended and everything like that.
Normally, isn't there like an insurance guy with a mustache when you have an emu on screen that's out there trying to sell this and everything?
Sorry, I didn't hear anything you said because she just called for the mixed tag team match.
Fair enough. No, I was saying, isn't there normally a guy with sunglasses and a mustache trying to sell me insurance when an emu's on screen out here with this fucking gazelle wandering down here? Liberty,
Yeah,
liberty, or something like that.
I guess so. And here comes Daria. Oh, this just gets worse and worse.
Now, Anthony, how are you feeling about TNA on AMC? Are we in the diarrheas or the diarrhea rays? Or are
This
we, yeah.
okay, I'll say it like this. I don't actually mind Daria Ray, right? I I didn't mind it like when she got involved with the Macklin and Santana stuff. Like I that part didn't bother me. I actually kind of enjoyed it. But this, which they did the same thing last week with all four of them, absolutely not. And now this match is going on next week. Oh god.
But
I'm calling out a stream next week. I won't be here.
no, the fuck you will be here. I'm flying to Atlanta. I'll do it in your goddamn room with you. Be the first in-person stream together out there. No, we're gonna because you have the Wicked Garden. You literally have the best of times,
The
the
highest
worst
of
of
highs
times.
and the lowest of lows, all in the same. Russell Rand, the acting from Ariana sometimes is straight up abysmal. Absolutely. John C. laughing at the mixed tag. Like, I think I need to go take a pause, Nick. I
You
think
go do
I
that.
need to
You
go
go take a
distract
walkabout. You go.
because
Anthony's gonna
this,
go calm himself out here.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Take
Not
that.
tonight.
Inhale, exhale.
I'm going to leave you guys with Nick.
You're gonna miss Eichner though. But yes, Anthony taking a pause of he's gonna go take his walkabout and just fully comprehend of it didn't die, instead it's just reborn again. Of Indy Midwell, 100%. Of are we just what? Maybe you can do something with Indy if Dexter when he's fully free and he signs there. But if this is what you're doing in the meantime to keep her going or anything, like at this point, like is she honestly with how much she's involved in the story, is she just Ariana's stepmom or something? Why is she so involved in this goddamn story? And why won't they let it fucking progress in a different direction? Anthony said even they literally just did Pretty much what they did last week. Just there was a match before it. Dario Ray is so annoying to listen to. She rah 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 ma ma. Spaz $2. Excuse me. Tony's like, they see me streaming. I'm hating. No, I think he kind of called his shot 100% with that. And it hasn't. That is the personification, I feel, of what is currently wrong with TNA's creative. Of none of that was exactly entertaining, enjoyable, getting skill. Like, what do you pull out of that would make you want to tune in next week? Honestly, if this was your first time viewership, and even then, that's the ultimate case with that. But even then, of like we were joking about, you have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. I've been waiting for weeks. I've been waiting like Anthony was waiting for Bear Bronson's match when he watched the taping. I've been waiting for the Wicked Garden match, but now I also have to have that attached with the mixed tag match that nobody, including the participants, wants to be involved in. So the dichotomy of TNA is astounding. Yeah, I know, big words. Nick, Tony, the Santino family story is peak cinema. We get a 5-star mixed tag next week. Shaq's gonna dethrone Santana. Oh, Spaz, I know what you're trying to do. Next time, don't make it quite so obvious and wait until Anthony's here so he can crash out about it. I'll let him click on it or anything. But that was a little too on the nose to, that's one of those of, Mad Max. That's bait. That's exactly what I said. John C. I got better things to do. John C. Anthony basically said I have better things to do with my time. 100% of that's the issue. That is the problem with TNA's creative of not exactly even a full issue that you can't like they're not fully incompetent, they're just semi-incompetent. It just feels like they didn't get off on the best foot. Like their first live episode was not great. And they don't feel like they've really recovered since then. Like they walked out of they went to touch gloves and got punched on the jaw and are so wobbly like the whole time. It just I don't even know, chat. Let me know. Give me a name. Who would you want to see? And who would you want to see actually take over TNA's creative? If it's not going to be so right now, allegedly to the sources. I don't work there. I'm not a Jim Cornette. I'm not somebody who kind of worked there. I'm not one of those people. Oh, well, I held a camera one time, or I did this and I worked there. No. But allegedly the creative team for TNA right now is Tommy Dreamer and Delirious, former Ring of Honor wrestler. Road Dogg. Actually, do we all owe Road Dogg an apology because of SmackDown? Michael Hayes, no. God, no. God, Michael Hayes, I'm amazed that man still is gainfully employed. But no, what would you would call for somebody that you want him to leave, but who would you take in that position? Who would you put there? I mean, respectfully, Road Dogg's not a terrible shout, honestly. Been there before and maybe has some ideas. Is that your best option? Because I think he's your only available option. You're not gonna. There's no Bischoff or anything that's gonna pull fantasy out of your ass with that. Okay. AJ with who? Who the hell is this guy? Why is like Al Gore on my screen? What is this weird handshake? I need that paperwork in my hand. What are we owning rights to something? What the fuck is this? And he's goozling this man. I like AJ Francis, but what the hell is this? This just is so. Do you have a spine? Is this man made out of jellyfish? he saw it just this man tapping him on the chest. He sort of like he got chopped by Gunther. What was all of that? Someone explain to me what any of that was. Anthony, please help me that you're watching that, because what was any of that? As so we're getting Eddie Edwards versus Giovanni Vinci coming up right now. Let me know who you got. And why is it got to be Eichner? Eichner has to win this, right? So we get a nice little double dip of Eddie and Alicia. But what are we going to see after? We haven't seen Eichner since he was let go from WWE. I don't think he did any kind of indie dates or anything. The last anybody outside of him showing up in TNA, the last time anybody was talking about Fabian Eichner was when Tiffany Stratton was acknowledging that he didn't get fired because he flirted with her or whatever. So I'm going to be interested to see. I know I crashed out and said it ruined the moment and everything, but now this is kind of where I wanted it to be. Of at least now I get to see what he's going to do in ring. I liked him before. I've been a fan of Vinci. He's a guy that wouldn't be a bad thing, especially with them about to have a show in Italy. If he was on a pre-show or this or that or what have you. But I want to see what he's got. So he's got the gladiator attire. I don't old strategy cotton. Normally doesn't work out. I mean, trying to think of who's done it. You had Shane Mercer, you had Karrion Kross when he was the Gimp Gladiator. You've had Relic going to TNA lore. Okay, so he is taking it off. I thought he was going to wrestle on that. So it's just straight black. So he's just Imperium Fabian Eichner, essentially. Same attire, but he's got the Vinny Vici. But yeah, bold strategy with the gladiator shit. I thought that was really going to wrestle in. I'm like rattling off people who have actually wrestled that. Most of the time, you only see something like that nowadays in like Muay Thai, which I don't think he's going to come out and be a Muay Thai fighter. Well, let me know, folks, who you got, whether you got Fabian Eichner or you've got Eddie Edwards. I can't even say give me an E or an E because they're both E's. Well, look who it is. Time to see what Vinci working with. Yeah, 100% of. Now, make me think that they kind of could have done something with you. Make me remind me who you are, Simba. Oh, show me what you're all about out here. Side headlock takeover. Bulldog. So we're just very old school headlock. Stone Cold Steve Eichner. Why? Holy man, if he had a little bit more of a goatee, or he looks like one of the Bashams. The Bashams very much had the same attire and everything. Doug and Danny Basham. Oh, is Eichner going to go flying? Remember, he's supposed to be baseball slide. He's supposed to be allegedly X Division, but we'll see. Ooh, Eddie countering all this short on clothesline. Kind of still, so far at least, a bit of a paint by numbers match. Nothing bad, but nothing to go home with. No takeout plates from this so far. He's a former 2-time NXT Tag Team Champion. Fair, but that don't mean nothing right now. Spaz for the $2, but I respect you, Dave. I get it. Hear me out. Lucha Bros versus Leon Slater, Javon Evans. See, does anyone actually think that they're going to try and turn Javon heel after his whole match with Penta, or is that just fan theories and Twitters? Because I don't see it. I don't buy it. I think he's their babyface in the future. And I do wonder if he has to add any kind of weight or anything to be, in that mold, or is he just going to stay? Is he going to be the next kind of Ronald Mysterious of just he be small, but he be winning? Big chop from Eddie. This just accidentally whistled into my drink if anyone heard that. John C. This almost went the direction of Cross in the Mask. Yes. Yeah, that's what I was saying with the gladiator pants. And it's him, Sean Mercer, and Relic for the TNA callback, formerly John Lee Stamboli, under the mask with the gladiator pants when they had the Judas Messias of this story. But Eddie right now in control. Who's Shaniqua? Who what? Who's the Basham manager? Oh, no, I know who you're talking about. Give me half a second. It wasn't, I know who you're talking about, but you're very much on the wrong name. So no offense on that. The Basham's manager, was it? I don't think it was actually that name. But Wrestle Rants, I see you. Let me try and find this real quick. Because I'm literally trying to type this out right now. Basham Brothers. I'm amazed that anyone actually remembers who the Basham Brothers are. Oh, she did just go by Shaniqua. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Linda Miles. Didn't she do anything with TNA? What? I feel like she might have. We're going on a complete side tangent here now. But yeah, no, fair enough. Goddamn. Anyone remembering actually who the fucking Bashams were? Who's the Bashams? They weren't they the Gemini twins? They were over shit in OVW. I can't remember the full gimmick. Like, I'm not gonna try and do the lore of the Basham brothers right now as Leitner and Eddie. Backpack stunner, 1, 2 go. But they very much were two talent that they had together in OVW. They put them together in a tag team. We're trying to make them very much kind of on one hand a serious tag team, but also kind of a weirdly subservient. They were like if with DX with China met the Eliminators from ECW kind of thing a bit, but yeah. Save that for members only, Boston. If you really want to know the whole lore, send that in the write-in question, and we'll do an essay on who are the Bashams. All right, now, Boston, I know you're controlling. What's OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling? I know you're just trying to get me going now. Anthony stepped away for a minute, and now you're trying to get me going. As Alicia's got a kendo stick. Her name was that. Yeah, I done looked it up. I was surprised. I didn't want to assume, but yeah. Who's brought it? Yeah, Boston. All right, we got you. We got you. Wasn't the Bashams Ron and Doug? Weren't they Danny and Doug? Ron, it feels like they had a little iteration with this. As Alicia's been sent away. Hallelujah. There is a merciful Lord out there. That, Alicia's been thrown out of ringside. Oh, Boston, you were caught pretty much from the jump. But I let you kind of slide for a little bit. It's one of those. I let you get away with the first one, but you kept going. As Edwards going up top. Leitner meets him up there. Johnson, that was the absolute worst time. One of, fisherman suplex, superplex. 1, 2 count. Again, and now I'm asking, we're not at the end of the match. Anyone been super impressed so far with Eitner? Not saying he's got to burn the world down or anything. I'm not expecting 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome or anything. But now the system's got to get involved. Eitner's not beating him down enough that it feels like the system needs to get so involved just to fucking save him. Crossbody. I get you're doing this of Eitner's going to take everybody out, so he's a goddamn superhero because he just crossbodied the whole system and is about to win slingshot tornado DDT. Yeah. He 100% sounds like he'd go, yeah. Yo, that little kind of flapjack and then the bulldog there is still dope as hell. And now we got the disqualification. That's the thing is there wasn't enough to me in that match that warranted it. Felt like Eichner was beating down Eddie Edwards so much that you needed extra help. You needed the reserves to, turn the tide because he was getting beat down so much or anything like that. It just felt like you did it so he could come out and beat him up and then look like a hero. As now he's going to get ganged up on his Alicia's just back. So now we've got a mugging. Who's going to show up to help Eichner? It's half-baked ideas. I feel a little bit like there was something there, but it didn't fully manifest as vertebraker out there, lumbar check from Cedric on to Eichner. So she's handing on the so you have Eichner win in his debut after Alicia gets thrown out from ringside. The systems still have to come out. They get frog splashed onto the outside and everything. And Eddie still loses the match, but now you just have them beat him down, no help. Just, I feel like we've seen this half a dozen times. And so it's only a 6-woman. Mara Sade, you're on the wrong team. Run, hide, you're on the wrong team. As we're getting Zy Brookside, Elena Black, and Mara Sade taking the Elegance brand. And damn it all, I'm going to forget who's the last person I should have named. Xia Li, Ling Li out there. So instead of, that should be probably your main event, but instead of the 8-man like before, it's only a 6-person. And again, Mara Sade is not exactly a heel. I get she might be a challenger, but if she wins it and that becomes a thing and she takes on Xia Li, all the more power to you. But I don't understand her exactly teaming up with the very obvious heels inside Brookside and Co. Mancopa. And the goddamn hiccups is I'm in a commercial break right now. So be a friend, tell a friend, all of that 100%. We've got the new merch out there. We got the summer collections. We got the merch drops out there. Be a friend, tell a friend. And again, everything that you guys do, honestly, is truly appreciated and it does nothing. Everything from any merch you guys buy, any super chat, any super sticker, just every like, every view, anything like that. Just saying a nice comment. It all funnels back into the channel. Nothing. I never drew a dime. I'm Jeff Jarrett breaking guitars out here. Never drew a dime. But it all goes into trying to make this, trying to be the best out there that we can be and be the community that I think the wrestling world kind of needs of actually can discuss wrestling and doesn't have to have this or that or, oh, you're this fan or that fan. No, you can have a discussion respectfully. If you don't agree with the discussion, then you move along and then you'll find the next discussion that we have that you agree with. So no, I've just appreciate anybody that spends any bit of time out here, especially late on a Thursday, of at times with some stuff that's hard to watch with TNA, but that it's very much appreciated. And it goes straight back into doing what we do. Challengers for the win. Knockouts up next. Yes. Let me find that one right now. John Hudes. Sam Brooks, I got the nah. I guess the only person I would want to win anything out of this would be like Amara Sade. She wins something out of this and she ends up with a world title shot, but even then, it's more of just because I want to see her as their world champion. I still am kind of upset that WWE let her go as Jakara. Like, I would have loved to have seen Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson be at their pinnacle right now in WWE. Because I don't think, like, Lash's trajectory wouldn't change. And I think it would only help Jakara Jackson, Mara Sade being involved with that. Like, yes, Nia did help, but Nia could be around that. I think it would have been phenomenal I'm not taking anything away from her, but I'd love to see her get a world title and kind of show everybody what she could have, should have, would have been over there, of her get a world title, actual championship, not just even a match in TNA. Still got commercials going on. Challengers for the win. But who is it? I assume the same rules still apply. So let me know who you think's gonna get their title opportunity out of this.
So I came right in on title opportunity. I like you using Mara Sade as one. I think that would be cool if Mara Sade got the pin and challenge for the Knockouts title. I know you have strong feelings against Xia Brookside, but like because of the story they've been telling, I feel like Xia Brookside might get the pin here to officially become number one contender for the Knockouts title.
She's already immensely got the advantage over Xia Li, and now she's gonna get the physical. It doesn't. That's one of those, to me. Just scrap it. It doesn't work. It's not. It has.
I think it doesn't work for you.
You think it actually works? You were enjoying Xia Brookside.
I like it. I like the Xia Brookside and Lei Ying Li thing. I think the story could be better, but I do like where they're going with it. There's a bunch of people, and this is where it comes in, like with the waiting game. It seems a bunch of people say Xia Brookside worked as a heel across the waters overseas when she was prominent over there, and it was great. I want to give it some time to see where they move with this. It's only been about a month and a half she's been a heel, so I want to see where we kind of move with this as we get to Slammiversary and Lockdown. Now when Lockdown comes around, if it's not working, then I might say something different. But I do want to give it some time before I just say it's totally not working.
Okay, well, do you want to give Elena Black some time before you say it's totally not working?
No, exactly. It was never working when she was a part of the partnership last year. So, like that's almost 2 years.
It's okay, but when I say
that's almost 2 years.
I'm terrible.
So we're comparing 2 years. We're comparing 2 years to a month and a half.
Both. I know trash when I see trash.
Well, you thought Ash by Elegance coming to TNA was going to be trash. You thought AJ Francis coming to TNA.
She's not telling sabbatical.
You thought AJ Francis coming to TNA was going to be trash. Those two turned out wildly different.
That's what you call recycling. That is 100%. That's like the Pepsi, the Coke bottles and everything. This is 100% recycled plastic.
Recycled plastic.
I didn't mean offense to say that as 100% recycled plastic. Xia Brookside comes out. Yeah.
See, even me and MDB don't agree all the time, but Nick thinks everything is trash when it starts. See?
I don't have a terrible batting average, though. That's the thing, is I might swing on the first pitch, but I don't have a terrible batting average. You can hate that I swing on the first pitch, but I still get a fucking hit. Now, Boston, Nick, do you collect cans out of people's recycling bins? No, because in New Hampshire they ain't worth shit. It's one of those, you got to live in Vermont, Connecticut, New York, or pretty much anywhere else, and you can recycle it for a 5 cents.
That's nice.
You didn't know that? You can recycle aluminum cans?
Because we don't have that here in Georgia.
Yeah, but no, when I lived in New York, that was big business at the grocery stores.
Oh, yes, yes.
It is like garbage bags, like truckloads.
It is in New York. I forgot about that because I always got that.
I just like this one of those. I made $50 recycling a truckload of aluminum cans.
I always got yelled at by my grandmother when I was at her house and would throw bottles in the trash. Who's throwing bottles in my trash can? It's me, Grandma. I'm sorry.
Bro,
We
I
don't have
worked
this
at a
in
grocery
Georgia.
store and had to clean them machines. I done
Yeah.
dealt with all of that. I've been through the whole process.
Yeah.
I know recycled plastic when I see one, and I'm sorry I'm calling recycled plastic when I see it. This shit's straight up aluminum.
We got your favorite person out
Exactly.
here, George Iceman.
I keep losing.
George Iceman and the Elegance brand.
But so where's your girl Ash gone, by the way? She just
the reason why she wasn't at these tapings is because she was in Australia defending the World Series Wrestling Championship. That's why Moose wasn't here. That's why Nick Nemeth wasn't here.
That's why you became a fan of them, because they had Ash.
But man, those matches with Ash were actually really good.
And that man was instantly sold right then and there. I got this right now. Oh, your favorite. The one thing Anthony doesn't like on TNA outside of the Morellas is Mr. Elegance.
Oh my God. My eyes are bleeding.
He's like AI. He's like if a Ditto was Jack Perry. He's AI Jack Perry.
Like, what is like I don't understand. Like, what is the point of Mr. Elegance? Someone explain this to me, please.
What are you? Yeah, John C. Nick, did you get your 50 cents for recycling? Yeah, that's 10 cans out there. You get 5 cents a can.
I'm assuming this is the main event. So they're giving them about 20-ish minutes here.
Is Keith Jardine still just sauntering around? Have we even acknowledged that we have a former MMA champion just wandering around ringside? That you said nothing but everything at the same time.
That's how I have to put it.
But this is again of, I mean, my guy. I'm not trying to be that guy. But when I see on the hard cam, and we're at 10:36 as we're getting Xylee coming up right now, and I can still see empty seats in the front, kind of.
You're not trying to be that guy, but you are.
But it's right there. It's looking me dead in the face.
But you don't have to acknowledge it. Acknowledging it is being that guy.
From Roman Reigns of acknowledge me.
Acknowledging it is being that guy. I've seen the camera all night in some of the empty seats. I have not said a word.
It just hit me in the face.
I have not said a word.
Well, now are you the TNA show? That's what it is. We're the channel that's just trying to get in with TNA. That's why we didn't acknowledge it right there.
I've trashed TNA the majority of the night with that Santino stuff.
Shh, they don't know that. Everything is awesome. This is what happens when you're part of a team. Yeah, Sade though. I'm gonna be fucking salty for the longest time for especially how good and how long she is in TNA. I'm gonna be fucking salty that WWE let her go, because her with Lash right now, even if you wanted to have Nia and make it a fucking trio for all I care, would have been fantastic, and they both would have been stars.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you. Like she's even talked about how, you know, over the past year being in TNA, like she's enjoyed every second of it and every moment of it. And we've gotten to see her have some really good matches. I mean, I didn't really like the feud with her and Brian Nemeth, but the two matches that they had were really good.
It got her over.
Yeah, it got her over. The street fight, and then there was the one at I think it was the street fight, and then the match they had at Genesis. I can't remember if that was anything special. I think it was just a straight up one-on-one match. But yeah, both of those matches were great. Like you said, it got her over. Now she's somewhat with the undead realm people.
But she's also in the heel team, the challenger team, but it's all
exactly
an all heel team.
She has a lot going for her, and I hope eventually, like they really push her in that knockouts division, in the top spot, and she holds that knockouts title. I want her to technically hold it before Indy Hartwell ever gets to it. Indy Hartwell, I thought Indy Hartwell coming to TNA was going to be something good, and it's been pretty mid. So
Mindy Hartwell.
yeah.
AR agreeing facts, Nick. I'm up for 100%. Always salty over that. Yeah, they messed it up, and I think it's. Could you see if we're going to go with the same rules on the men's one? Mara wins this one, takes her shot versus Xia Li, and there's your new Knockouts champion.
I can definitely see them having Mara pick up the win here and challenge for the Knockouts title. I just also like feel like storyline wise they may go the Xia Brookside route.
But I don't want to see it though. La 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 la. I hear nothing.
Yeah, I get that you don't want to see it. I think it would just make more sense. Like you building this to this is one of those, like, if you did Mara Sade, you kind of swerved us in what was the last month and a half, for. Like, we're building to a moment, and then you put Mara Sade there, and it's
we need a change up. So throw a change up.
But then it looks inconsistent.
I'm trying to make a square peg into a round hole.
No, and that's why I say it. Then it would, if you try to do a switch up, it kind of makes you look inconsistent. Like, you switching up in the middle, like with the Pat McAfee thing. Like, if you want to just use that for an example, bringing that up,
don't you do that
3 weeks before Mania, and then you're like, what is this? And then it turns out to be nothing. Like, you swerve us to do nothing, right? So I kind of feel like in this instance, it could be the same thing.
The only way I can ever agree with you on anything of what you just said was that Xia Brookside and Pat McAfee are both trash involved in storylines is the best I can make out of what you were trying to say there. I don't want to even get a comparable with those two out there. I know I'm fantasy dreaming of Mara wins it. If I get it, would go contrarian to what's the current story they're trying to tell us. But I think the woman deserves her flowers. I think she's been honestly one of the best knockouts in the division.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but I hate using the term playing the devil's advocate, but because the devil doesn't need an advocate, but it's just like, I don't know. The TNA fans are like calling for consistent stories. They want, this is a consistent story, whether you like it or not. And to put Mara Sade right in the mix of it when you building these two to a Knockouts championship match does not scream the word consistent. That screams the word confusion.
Fair enough. Well, I saw Wrestle Rants, and I think you just 100% encapsulated your feelings in a comment there. If you want to read it,
bro, Mr. Trash by Elegance literally adds nothing, zero. Nada, zilch of importance or relevance to the group, just useless collecting a check. Yes. Perfect. You wrapped everything up in a bow. You put it together because that's exactly what it is. And I don't dislike Mr. Elegance. I don't like Mr. Elegance. He's just there, and I don't want him to be there.
I don't hate you. I just don't want you to exist.
Exactly. It's
just like beyond the level of hate. Hate was 10 miles back, and now I don't want you to exist.
I don't want you to be there.
I don't want to share the same plane of existence as you. Someone say that to someone the next time you get an argument on Twitter of I don't want to exist on the same plane with you.
I think I said that one time to Boston because he insulted me, and I was like, I don't want to see you anymore. I want your existence to be gone from Earth or something to that effect. So yes, I was very I was very matter of fact.
I see that, but matter of factly, we're getting Elena Black about to start off this match, taking on Xia Li. I know she goes Yay Ling Lee, but I always feel like I'm the Caucasian guy ordering something off the Chinese menu that I just see in front of me every time I fucking read it off. I'll have the special number 5. And I'm not trying to be like
no,
she's talented. I don't want to butcher her name, so it's like
no, I get it. So just calling her Xia Li is fine. I get it.
The cockcat. Yeah, see again. The cockcacity. That needs to be a thing. That's tonight's catchphrase of the night. The cockcacity. It's running wild.
So Boston.
Nick, how hard is it to say Lei Ying Lee? Because that's how hard it is. I had to say it like Mike Tyson after I got hit. Lei Ying Lee. You try and say that 3 times fast. If you the vitamins and the feel goods, yeah, it gets hard.
Yeah, if you say it fast, yeah, I definitely.
Lee, yeah, no
I definitely get it. And Boston up here repeated what I actually said. I said, "I want you gone from this earth." Yes, those were the exact words.
That is like that's a biblical like Elden Ring, Lord of the Rings. May my doorstep never be graced by your shadow ever again. That kind of level of shit.
I didn't say like I wanted you like dead or anything like that. I just said I want you gone from Earth. That could happen a million different ways. You can get trapped on a space station. I mean,
the back rooms.
Right.
I'm really curious because I'm wondering if this is going to get a commercial. We got like 15 minutes left, so I may save my question to see if we get a commercial. But there's that kind of a horror movie, and I know you're kind of the horror movie guy and everything, and I'm kind of curious of your thoughts on it because we haven't had a lot discussed. There hasn't been a lot of great horror movies. Weapons. Is that a horror? Is that a thriller?
Weapons was terrible. Weapons. Oh, was really? Terrible. I hated Weapons.
I see. Bold strategy. How would you dare say something so bold yet so true? But yeah, I didn't. Like when I saw it, I'm like, no. Yeah.
Well, hopefully, I think we'll get another commercial break because we got 15 minutes. So when we get to that commercial break, we can talk about it.
Yeah, but they're running through the whole tapings list so they're going to be in Brampton, Ontario, San Antonio, Tampa. I know they're going to be out there in Boston.
So. Yes, they're going to be in Tampa for Bound for Glory. I'm doing everything possible. I want to go to Bound for Glory in Tampa. I did the drive for WrestleMania, Royal Rumble a couple of years ago in Tampa. So I will do it again for Bound for Glory.
I'm still calling. I think I called my shot earlier of that. You and KJ's first like in-person meetup will be at like a good TNA show.
Yes. Maybe. Yeah. In Canada. Because I've been to Canada too for TNA. So
there's the one that's in Brampton. I mean, you just book a flight, you can hit new. Imagine if it's you, Spaz, and KJ all meet up and are all watching TNA together. It's just going to be me and MDB and everybody else watching the stream by ourselves. I guess we didn't get invited to the cookout.
Ooh, coast to coast by Elegance. That was perfect. That's
the one who blessed you in an Elegance brand. That's your big bro.
Yeah. That was perfectly executed.
And not a broken shoulder to be seen, Seth.
Exactly. Oh, Marshade over the top rope with a crossbody, taking out both of the Elegance brands.
Zaya Lee. Middle rope dive, tope. This feels like we're going to commercial.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to commercial here.
Yeah, well, that's normally that. If WWE has taught me anything, it's know when a commercial is coming up, and it's very much when all the baby faces are out there celebrating outside of the ring as we go to commercial.
Exactly.
All right, so that's the one thing WWE teaches you now as a wrestling fan is know when the commercials are coming. But so Backrooms A24 movie came out, just coming out right now. Your interest level, your thoughts, your feelings, everything. Because I feel like this is one of those. I'm like, I feel like Anthony be into this shit.
10 out of 10. Can't wait to see Backrooms. Like I cannot wait to see that movie. Like seeing the commercial, seeing how it's being like the trailers are. Like I have to see Backrooms.
Now, did you know any of the lore? Like, did you see any of the Reddits or even people did a lot of? I watched a lot of gaming content creators that played Backrooms based games. Mm-hmm. And so I've seen a lot of backrooms content that way. I know that a YouTube channel kind of built the lore even for this movie and everything. So I don't know. And anybody in the chat, if you want to know, we're going on a halfway side tangent here because of we're both horror movie buffs and we're in a commercial break and it's late on a Thursday. But any thoughts, feelings, the lores of the back rooms or anything like that?
No, I don't know any of the lore, so I'm going in
Oh,
completely blind.
oh,
Yeah, I'm going in completely.
that's interesting because I'm surprised then, honestly. And Boston, I love this. I'm hoping Nick accidentally clicks on one of these weird ass comments. That's why I'm doing it. Well, there you go. Well, I clicked on you giving away your answers there. Backrooms down. I hope the backrooms. Why?
He
I'm
hopes it sucks
intrigued
because
by
of
it.
me.
What?
I said he hopes it sucks because of me, but I don't really get bent out of shape when a movie is bad. So with the exception of the one that came out last year, The Long Walk, because the trailer gave
Oh,
off
really?
the trailer gave off some things that it was going to be like a horror type fight back movie, and it wasn't that. And about 30 minutes into it, I was like, I'm over this. Like I finished it, obviously, but yeah, that movie was not
Two things
for me.
surprised me with that is that was Mark Hamill, that was Luke Skywalker, that was the one on the back of the truck barking off all the orders and everything like that. And I
Yeah.
think once I looked into it and realized it was a Stephen King or was based on a Stephen King book, that kind of made it more sense. I've honestly not been the biggest Stephen King fan, respectfully, of
Mhm.
his work. If I get people like it, it just doesn't work for me, brother. Um, but no, I'm more surprised that you, without knowing the lore, are excited for the back rooms, and maybe that's because it's your first time kind of see it. Because I was surprised that they did it, and
Yeah.
A24 being the studio to do it would be the studio to do it.
Yeah.
Like you talked about
A24.
we were talking about the Halloween movies. Blumhouse is another studio that's known for doing the
Yes.
kind of
And,
artsy horror
and
movies and
yeah,
everything.
and Boston knows that I will watch any Blumhouse movie. I don't care if the trailer sucks, if somebody says it sucks. Any horror movie that comes out by Blumhouse, I'm instantly watching.
See, this is why we had a
And
discussion about
because
the
I
Halloween
became a
movies because
fan
those are
of
all Blumhouse.
Blumhouse. I became a fan of Blumhouse from the Purge movies. Like I love the Purge.
Oh,
And
I
so
know. Yeah. So see, this is no, I never got into those.
really?
Well, it's that whole kind of era of those and the paranormal activity, the conjure. I know I'm going to the supernatural route, but they all felt like they kind of came in a row. The Purge, maybe the first one I watched, but then the more it went, like I've started. There hasn't been a good horror franchise recently. Like even I would say The Strangers, I liked the first one that they did, and then they tried to make it a franchise, then refranchise the franchise, and it didn't work.
I like the original Two Strangers, like the ones that came out in the
I like
early
the first one with Liv Tyler and
yeah,
everything.
the
I thought
ones that
that was
came out in
really
the
great.
early 2010s as TNA is back in March. Are they your favorite women's wrestlers in the ring?
Yes.
The three that they just came out with over the past like 3 years or 4 years, the first one was good. The second one was decent. This last one pissed me off. Because I was invested into it, and like I know I said earlier, a lot of horror movies don't like make me upset, but that one did because like I was really into it and I wanted it to end really well, and it didn't.
But is there any good? Well, two things because you mentioned Mara being my favorite women's wrestler. Give me Mara Sade versus Jada Parker, and I can die a happy man. Um,
Right?
but also, has there been a good, like, even the past decade, like horror franchise or anything? And I saw Spaz in watch the Saw movies. I love the Saw movies personally. I know that they went downhill. Like, it's one of those. I'm willing to admit the last ones aren't great, but I was hooked in to go with it. I don't think there's been a good, even is Scream. Like, do you think that going
The
down to like Scream 7's work?
the last couple of Scream movies I've actually enjoyed.
All
Um,
right.
I thought they've been great. I stopped with Saw after I think 3. I do want to take the opportunity to go back and give it a legitimate try. So I'll probably start at 3 and then go to, go through the rest of them. I know they're making Evil Dead like into a franchise. Evil Dead Rise was really good. I'm excited for the one that comes out like in June or July. I think I thought The Purge was a good franchise. I really liked I think it's 5 of them, and I even watched the TV series. I thought that was yeah. So I was deep into the Purge movies. I also obviously I like The Conjuring. Those depending on who you talk to, it's like up and down with the Conjuring movies, with the Elegance brand about to get the win there. But I do like I thought the second one and the fourth one was good. The third one they could have left alone, but because it's a part of The Conjuring, I'm always going to watch it. I'm trying to think of a really good horror one though, and I can't.
Well, no, I was going to touch on MDB with this. I don't know if you've seen, as we've gone full fucking tangent at this point. And you know what? This is what happens at times with the wrestling for life out here. Especially when you got your brother from the land of mother out there. It's been a minute since we've actually.
But I can say at least this Knockouts match, we are keeping our eyes on the Knockouts match, and it's actually
not watching it. We're just
it's actually really good. It's not a bad match. But yes, I don't get on stream a lot, so we have to talk about this.
I miss you. But the new Resident Evil trailer and everything too that dropped, that was really interesting. I don't know if you've seen that, or did you ever watch any of the Resident Evil movies playing the game?
That's another franchise that I have to go and start because I haven't watched Resident Evil.
I like this trailer because I feel like you can watch this movie because I know you already said, I think I know you said that Weapons was trash, but I think that the guy that directed Weapons did this or something. But this feels like this isn't one of those. This isn't like you have to know the lore before you can get dropped to it, which is maybe why even you like the backrooms, you don't have to know the lore to be intrigued by it. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I personally am not a big fan of body horror. So it may not be the movie I want to watch, but I do think it's going to be a good movie.
Oh, speaking of body horror, I can't think of the name I watched, but it was the name of the movie I watched.
Mason Rook. Sorry, did I take a cheap shot? But
it was a horror version of Cinderella where Cinderella was basically changing her body, like cutting off limbs and stuff to make herself look to be, it wasn't Cinderella. I think it was the stepsister. I can't remember, but that one was really good. That one was really good, and I enjoyed that movie a lot.
Now we're just going into the horror movie conversations of Blair Witch. Nick, watch a circuit. No, Boston. I fucking know. Actually, I actually sent you. I know because we had talked about that with the last stream and everything, and I looked up the trailer. Oh, one breakup,
1, 2, and it's broken up by Elena.
But no, I know I had sent you that, and that's when I sent you the trailers for an underrated movie that I've seen that a lot of people like, of Creep, and that series and everything.
The Creep movies. Yes, those are good. I like those, and they have a Creep TV show. I haven't finished it though.
I start shows and don't finish it. TV show.
I start TV shows and don't finish them. That's a big problem.
What is TNA on AMC? Started a TV show and don't finish it.
Who is that?
Dragging out Mr. Elegance.
Who is that again? I know you know
Keith Jardine, the Dean of Mean. Keith Jardine. If you watch the UFC with Tito Ortiz, and Chuck Liddell, and all of that, he was one of those that was the primetime kind of rival for a Chuck Liddell. I think he actually might have been a light heavyweight.
I do know who Chuck Liddell is.
Light heavyweight champion at one time. As you keep getting blurrier and blurrier, the more I talk about Jardine.
Sorry.
No Vaseline, my guy out here.
Come on.
Come on with it.
There he goes. Oh, Zaya
Oh,
Brookside with that DDT. This has to be it.
well, it's 10:59 and boo. I wanted to talk about horror movies.
So Zaya Brookside, the number one contender for the Knockouts title. I think we may have lost Nick. I think so. If y'all can hear me, let me know. I don't know if Nick was lost or I was lost. Maybe it was Nick. I think it was Nick. So Nick is coming back now. Okay. Oh, now Nick is now
Yeah,
he's back.
no, for some reason, somehow, someway, I'm just TNA Carlos Silva. I blame you, you son of a bitch out there. The second I sit there and say that, Zaya Brookside boo, that's the last words that I saw. I said boo to Zaya Brookside winning. And then everything went dark.
And Carlos was like, "Oh, we're cutting him.
We're done here. Pack it up here. We're gonna silence this guy."
That wraps up TNA with Zaya Brookside standing over Lei Ying Lee as the number one contender. So I guess we're getting that. I would assume we'll get that match at Slammiversary. I think that's what we're building towards. So
yeah, but how are you feeling going into Slammiversary? As folks, you can let us know. I guess maybe say a slightly good rating unless you want Carlos Silva to strike you down like fucking boogeyman. Everybody wants to talk about WWE saying people can't use their footage. Who else is TNA out there striking commentators down midstream?
I'm not like right now super like I'm pumped for Slammiversary because of its namesake, right? But like we don't have really much of anything fleshed out and we're 4 weeks out technically. I hope we start getting some match announcements. I think we do have our Knockouts title match. We obviously have our world title match, I feel. And we may have a direction with the X Division title. And now to think about it, we also may have a direction with the international title. Maybe I'm just completely wrong because we got Casey Navarro being the number one contender. I think we're going Eichner and Cedric maybe with a Leon appearance, and then the world title we got EY and Mike Santana. The Knockouts title, Lei Ying Lee, Zaya Brookside. Okay, so I might be talking too fast here. I feel like we do have some matches. We don't really have storylines to go behind it just yet. So maybe we pick up the storylines over the next couple of weeks.
I really like Casey Navarro winning.
Yeah.
I like that. I like what that sets up. I wonder if that was kind of oddly enough a bit of the peak of the show. And then it kind of middled throughout.
I actually I like the opener, the what was it, the champion challenge for the men.
That was Casey.
Yeah, that was Casey. You just mentioned that. I did like. I know you may not. I was trying to listen in while I was taking my pause. I know you may not have liked the Eichner, or you wouldn't.
Oh, I was going to ask. So, do you think he really showed up and showed out, or was that just par for the course?
I don't think he showed up and showed out. I think the match was interrupted too quickly for it to hit its peak because I feel like they were cooking. I feel like it was.
Okay. So we're gonna still talk about this because now that you brought this up, because you weren't here. I don't feel that there was anything in that match that really warranted once you had Alicia thrown out, cool. End it there. End the manager shit and everything and the interference after that. I don't think that there was anything else that continued in that match to where Eddie ever felt really at a point to where he couldn't win it on his own, that needed the rest of the system to come out. Yeah. And then it got awkward. Then he does the crossbody, takes everybody out, quickly gets the win, but then quickly gets beat down. No,
he didn't even get the win.
You had to have the system come out.
He didn't even get the win,
but you didn't need it there.
He didn't even get the win. It was a disqualification. That's why I said the match was. I said the match was about to hit its peak when it got interrupted by the system, which I don't think it really needed to be interrupted by the system, because I think Eddie Edwards was holding his own, honestly. And I think Eichner got a big upper hand throughout the majority of the match, to be honest. The crowd was really into it. And while I was watching, people were tweeting about it and saying how this was great for Eichner. I don't think his first match needed to be a complete, disqualification. But I also feel like they were trying to make Eddie Edwards look strong, because as much as it might not be in our
you
eyes,
don't need to do that.
if you
Eddie
would
is a
let me
former world
finish,
champion.
if you
Eddie
would
is the
let me
leader of the
finish,
faction. Eichner is the guy that just
if you
debuted.
would let me
No, I'm going to
finish,
finish before you finish. Pause. That you needed to make Eichner look strong in this. Go ahead. Sorry.
So what I was about to say before I was interrupted, because TNA feels like Eddie Edwards is a main event guy. They were trying to make him look strong and Eichner strong, and I don't think it worked out for the best. I do agree Eichner should have got a clean victory, but they're also trying to protect Eddie Edwards as being the leader of the system as well. Maybe his opponent shouldn't have been Eddie Edwards in his first go around.
But Eddie can eat that though. I trust me. Eddie can eat a lot of things. We've seen of anybody. Eddie apparently just means you have very much a wrestler's body when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah,
you have kind of the same physique. But Eddie could have literally eaten that loss to Eichner. Of hey, he's new. I didn't know what to expect. He caught me off guard. Yada 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 yada.
But that's why I said if you want to make both of them look strong, Eddie Edwards didn't need to be in that match. Like, it could have been somebody else, but I do know Eichner came out and called out the system in his first night. He called out Cedric, so they had to go that route. I can see your point. I can see your point of him, like Eddie Edwards, taking the loss, but also, like I said, they consider Eddie Edwards a top guy. So it's like, where do you go from here?
Would you have done Brian Myers, but you can't do that because you have the championship challenge to where he's in that because of the tag titles that might have been a better jumping off point.
I wouldn't have chosen Bear Bronson. I would have chosen Brian Myers. I feel like I feel like with that, what you're about to say, I feel like that would have been the better choice. But who would have given Eichner the better match? Would have been Brian Myers or would have been Eddie Edwards?
But better match, but bad result of it was presented great, but it tasted like shit. Yeah. How does that go?
Yeah, it's really a catch-22 here. Like, I see both sides, I really do. I think if the match maybe went a bit longer and then we got the disqualification, maybe I would have been okay with it.
And he never seemed in a big enough distress to warrant the system. All three of them having to come out. That's my big gripe with it.
And that's why I feel like
result. It's just there was no need. He never seemed like he needed help.
And that's why I feel like if the match, excuse me, I'm sorry. I feel like if the match went a bit longer and we got to a point where it seemed like Eddie Edwards is going to need help, then I could understand the system coming in and interfering, causing a disqualification. But I feel like it was cut right at its peak. Like, it was about to get there. Eichner had hit some big moves, and then right after that, he did the big splash, and then the interruption, and then the match was over. But I do think, personally, Eichner did showcase some things for TNA. I really think he hit some high spots and some good things. So we'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
He maintained, but I got told vehemently, I'm not allowed to interrupt you. Nick, don't you ever interrupt Anthony again in front of me. To which then MDB responded with, nah, interrupt him more. Why is it, man, we trying to fast track Italian Stone Cold? He didn't do anything for me. He was the epitome of, you've ever played any WWE game, any wrestling game, you get the generic wrestler that's bald with maybe a little bit of a facial hair, if anything, and just black tights and black boots and everything that just does whatever move you put in front of him. That's kind of what Eichner felt like. It's very I get it. I gotta give it chance. I'm trying to, but there was nothing that to me stood out from anything with this.
I mean that's a fair assessment. That's your assessment. I understand that.
You can have that. Not even.
I mean, no, I'm just saying I do understand that, but and I think you are going to give it a fair chance. I like tonight. I think I like that match tonight. I just think it ended too early because I really think it was about to hit to where, like, I even told Boston, I was like, oh, they're cooking, but it's not there yet. And then right when I said that, it was like, boom, the match is over, and I'm like, this was not the best decision.
Well, MDB, you didn't even let him get out of his little gimmick for. Yeah, did you see? He came out in the Gladiators. Are you
Yes,
not
I saw
entertained?
that.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, I did see that. I definitely did see that. But I see Boston's comment down there. Are we going to go over people's ratings before we dip out of here for the night? But
yeah, if anybody, I haven't. I don't know if I've missed any. Oh, Ronan with a 7.5, Eric with a 7. Oh, Boston. See, this is why Boston wanted to be out there. 7 for TNA tonight. 3 out of 10 for Spaz's movie spam. 2 out of 10 for MDB's women choices. Huh?
I see a 7 out of 10 from Roman, 6 out of 5 from
what
Damien.
happened in the days of Siskel and Ebert of thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down. Did I miss one? I feel like I saw. Yeah, I did miss one purposely. 6.5 out of 10 for MDB. I did miss that one. I should have kept missing.
Just unintent. Just unintent. Well, so what is your rating of, again, very vocal again? Apparently, Carlos was trying to smite you and just missed and smited me with all of this. If I got struck down, the one thing I said negative, but what is your rating?
I'm I think perfect with the 6.5 and the 7 ratings. I guess I'll say I'm a 7. When the Santino thing happened, like I already had, I don't want to say Santino thing because I like Santino. When the Stacks thing happened and the Ariana Grace thing happened, I was like, ooh, I'm taking some points off because I was at a 6.5. Like, because you went from the high point of the championship challenge and then you kind of moved into that because that championship challenge match was about 25-ish minutes. Then you kind of moved to that Ariana Grace and all that other stuff.
Right.
I felt like they kind of bounced back a little bit with the Eichner thing, even though the ending kind of felt flat. I was still okay with the match overall. And then I did, even though we were talking about horror movies, I was paying attention to the main event and I really liked it. Even that coast to coast that was perfectly done by Empire Elegance. That's perfect. So I'm okay with the 7. I'm okay with the 7.
Oh, you're going straight 7.
Yeah, I'm going straight 7.
Well, then I'll be the 6 to your 7, my guy. 6, 7. Because I really like the opening match. I liked Casey Navarro getting the win. The end of that was really cool. The Santino stuff, I was more intrigued to watch you go off about it than I was even any bit of the match and everything. The Eichner thing, I've already very clearly had my personal gripes with it and everything. So that's not going to win me points. Tessa's match was indifferent. I intentionally tried to take a pause.
I did like
that. What?
Yeah, I said I did like the Tessa Blanchard match. We finally got to see Harley.
I intentionally took a pause to avoid that match. So again, personal bias be bound of this. See, Dave, this is what you can do: is you can admit when you have personal bias in it. But it wasn't a bad show. I think it's getting much more clear that there needs to be something shaken up in some direction. There is something that needs to be rattle the cages with TNA here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about that a lot tonight on stream, that there's something in creative that has to shake.
No, I don't even think it's exactly even has to directly be creative. I just think something across the company.
I think that is creative. I think across the board, like they have to step up with creative because the wrestling is great. the like we talked about the championship challenge match, the first one, that was great.
Right.
I thought the main event was great. Like the wrestling has been great. There's no short of great
By the end
wrestling.
of that show, we were talking horror movies because, yeah.
I mean, we were talking horror movies, but I did pay attention to the knockouts.
Yes,
I did.
yes. Sorry,
I said that in my review.
The wrestling was great. The wrestling
Yeah,
was great.
I said that. Like the coast to coast, all of that was like great.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, so I have been enjoying the wrestling aspect of TNA. I don't think there's any shortage of wrestling that needs to be changed. The thing that needs to be changed in TNA is some of the creative direction. And I think that's the shot in the arm TNA needs.
Fair enough. And I can't disagree. I just wonder who, when, what, where, and how is now what we're waiting to see.
Yeah. I think that's where we're at. I think that's where we're at.
Fair enough. But I know where we're at tomorrow.
Yes.
If I can find the slide. But yes, tomorrow special start time because SmackDown's in Italia out there before we have Clash in Italy of 1:45 Eastern Standard Daylight Savings Time start time, as it'll be live on Netflix because we watch the things live. But yes, be a friend, tell a friend. Reminders, hit all the bell notifications. This is your moment right now to hit the bell notification so it reminds you when we're live for SmackDown.
Yes, we got SmackDown tomorrow early. We got AAA on Saturday. We got Clash on Sunday. I think the Clash show is early too, right? I think that's
at 1:30. I think that's the first time in a minute we've had a brunch with the boys. Of,
yeah, so
Ross Angulo out there.
We got an early Clash and
1:30 in the afternoon.
We got an early Clash and a late AAA because I think AAA is that like at 10. I think so.
No. 6
o'clock,
7 o'clock.
I saw a thing from WWE today saying it was at 10, but I don't.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock.
I don't know. These times are changing. That's how I feel.
The times they are changing. Now it's a question to see if TNA can keep up with the changing times.
Exactly.
But our shit is real. Our shit is raw. Our shit is authentic. What are you talking about? That rest you, but put that for life with it.
See you tomorrow for SmackDown.